Thanks for the assist, friend. Oh man. Oh, this is nice. This is Deppening 186. We are covering the feud everyone's talking about. There's no current events that are in the way of this. Everyone, and I mean everyone, current event wise, is talking about the Johnny Depp Michael Madsen feud. Uh Davyd, there he is. Davyd. Oh god, I got a surprise for Davyd when he comes on, everyone. It's David's birthday, by the way. I'm gonna let that out. This is the guy who deserves your birthday wishes. He deserves your birthday. He is a light, he is an angelic. I'll save my you people question for you when you get on here, David. He'll be on in 30 minutes. I don't know what they're seeking a CP time. Welcome, Chubby Pickle at Walmart getting a. I didn't peg him as a cigarette smoker, Chubby. Let's hope Chubby gets the same lung surgery privileges that Depp has, where apparently there's a term for this, where you go to the doctor and they clean your lungs out of any cigarette remnants, any tobacco that's still lurking in there. You deserve it. I think Chubby's going to live till he's. I think Chubby was a pro wrestler at one point. What do you think about that? Every time we bring up a wrestler, he has a backstory to connect it to any given name, and we all agree. And we all agree. Yes, really, Chubby. Um, Bon Jovial, who may be on later. I throw him the link because there's a lot of he likes Donnie Brasco talk, and this is going to be a lot of Donnie Brasco talk. Um, he looked up. We were doing it. He was on with us doing it. This got to be 2 years ago, and I asked him to look up. Is there something, because I was curious how someone with all of Depp's options and like every access at his at his his brown cigarette fingertips at all times, um, could possibly like shorten his life on cigarettes. That just seems, even he doesn't make stupid moves like that. He has to be, anyways, kids, and you think he'd want to see. And again, his relationship with his kids is so bizarre, and it just gets weirder and weirder every time. And we're going to be talking about Jack Depp and a little bit about Lily Rose too. You'd want to see them in their formative peak. So, could you imagine someone with his life shortening his life by 15 years because of friggin' cigarettes? It can't be. So I had him look. I had Bon Jovi look up. Is there such thing for the privileged, for the 1% of a lung cleaning operation? And apparently there is. There's some kind of thing you could, even like Bill Maher, who's way too into marijuana, way too into it. I think marijuana talk is some of the boringest dialogue on the face of the earth. By the way. Um, so apparently this does exist. I don't know what it's called. There's Marta. Welcome, Marta. Good to see you. Marta does the best. How do you put this? Puerto Rican exit you could do. This is like, she's almost in the category of Artie, where you go away and come back, and only she knows the origin of Artie's mom and what's going down on the outskirts of Orlando. Orlando. But welcome, Marta. Fine chug. Welcome, sir. There's the Autobot man. Too soon to do a 902. Oh my! Yeah. Hey, Autobot. You are welcome to watch 90210 with us. Oddly, Chauncey went to friggin' college with Ian Ziering. He was friends with Shannon Doherty. He dated Jason Priestley's sister. I mean, can this guy, Kevin Bacon's got nothing on his degrees of separation. Nothing. He went to William Patterson with one T college and took theater with Ian friggin' Ziering, who, I mean, if there's any training for Sharknado, that's it. Um, Ian Ziering is a 27-year-old high school junior, repeated his junior year twice, as Sarah will remind you. And we're gonna do the next. That's our next Patreon. On our Patreon, David and I finished a Jump Street. It's 5 hours and 10 minutes where I talk about the Guardian Angels. and a story I had from high school where I got yelled at because I said that Curtis Sliwa sold out to Hollywood, and the guy got in my face in front of the whole class, and I had to not punk out. I didn't fight. I mean, I wasn't gonna. He wasn't gonna. I think he was just trying to do like a scared straight thing to me, and I just was swore that I wouldn't punk out, and I just stared at him, and I said, I defended my position. I said I've seen him do way too much TV, and it seems like he's not riding the subway anymore at 3 o'clock in the morning on a Wednesday. And he said, Curtis, I'll have you know, is the most dedicated among us. He's always there when you need him. How dare you question his dedication to this cause? And I had to, in front of my whole class, not punk out. This guy was intimidating too. He looked like one of the guys from the guy in the Warriors who dies. I think he was called the Chief. I can't remember his name. He dies in the opening with Cyrus in the park before they escape. He was the leader, and then Swan took over for him. And then that's who he reminded me of. I mean, the Guardian Angels don't look that different than the Warriors. And New York was still a shithole. It was urban studies class, by the way, which we had on Long Island. Teach you how to navigate in the city. Let me say hi to everybody. So yeah, that's next Autobot. You're welcome to sit in absolutely on the next 9. It's the season finale of season season one, when they're going to go into their second junior year after this. The average age of that junior class, 26. Good afternoon, Autobot Tellers 99. Welcome, Fine Chug. Welcome, still gushing over your wedding pictures. Congratulations, Fine Chug. King. What's how are you, sir? Marta said I smoke one cigarette a week. Are you kidding me? Are you why? One? Oh, that's so. You know what you should do, Marta, in any work situation? Just claim you're a smoker and you get an extra hour and a half break that no one else gets. Just go out with fake cigarettes and you get extra breaks. That was a big controversy recently where non-smokers, hey, I don't smoke. Why do they get an extra 2 hours? So you should do that. And I want to know why that one cigarette. What's the occasion? Is it executed the same time of day? Autobot says, "Hey, Arm, no joke. Michael Madsen has been reduced to doing Batman and Power Ranger fan films. He's a weird cat. Again, I don't. I think he squandered a lot of any money he made. Everyone most people know he was offered Pulp Fiction before Travolta and turned that down. He's really self-sabotaging, and he's got some crazy Depp stories, which." From the Donnie Brasco years and sort of after it, which he's just kind of coming out with now. I've been on to him this feud for 8 years because of this guy, Barry Katz, who's like a comedy agent. He opened the Boston Comedy Club in Greenwich Village, New York. It's right around the corner from the Comedy Cellar, and huge names come out of that alum-wise. Dave Chappelle and Louis C.K. and Tracy Morgan and Jay Moore, and just so he was a manager to a lot of these guys. And he has a podcast, and he looks like Dirk Nowitzki. And Marta says, I lie. I smoke about 12 American Spirits. Isn't that the cigarette that you can get for like $3 a pack at a reservation? From what in Long Island, we have there's a reservation in Shirley Mastic, and I've only heard about it. And apparently, this is where people go to get cheap cigarettes. I had a really this neighbor of mine is like he's almost like De Niro in Bronx Tale. Really proud Italian, wants nothing to do with any mafia connection. Stubborn old bird, but can fix anything. He's just, I mean, you talk about hosing your driveway down. Oh my God, this guy is It's such a cliche. The Tiger Woods, the Michael Jordan of hosing your driveway down. He makes Dennis look Amish. This guy, either the leaf blower or the hose is out at all times. Lenny Savante. I mean, he lives up to that name too. We call him Guinea Man because he loves to cut the grass. He's the lawnmower, the lawnmower, the leaf blower, or the hose is out at all times. He's obsessed with his garden and cuts his lawn 3 times a week. Cleavon. Thank you, Autobot. I knew you'd get it. Thank you, Autobot. Cleavon. That's who the guy looked like in my urban studies class. It got in my face, and I had to not punk out. I didn't think he was going to do anything. It was scary. It was scary. I know they don't carry. Chubby Pickle teaches urban study. That's a good one, Marta. That's a real. If we were to ever roast Chubby Pickle, that would be and that it's a compliment because I learned more in that class than I did in any math class. And it truly, I use that shit to this day. The teaching you how to read subway maps and navigate. Honestly, we didn't know it at the time. We didn't appreciate it. But damn. Hey, Matman 714. Arm is I don't know what's Goss. Mark Paul Gosslier. God, thank you. Yeah, I agree with that. I'm demigod. Demigod, Matt. Demigod. uh, you know, Solomon, Hercules, Atlas, Zeus, Achilles, Mercury. The goal sounds like steel toe. Yeah, the goal. What's the goal, Sarah? We have a goal. Please help us reach it for various to keep this pirate ship afloat. The emojis are there, but don't display correct. By the way, yeah. So I got to talk about So now we're back live. We were suspended for 7 days for a certain a whale of a show we did. Bon Jovial posted some video from 1971, which has no statute of limitations, and there's still. I saw it on Instagram the other day, and we got completely whacked with it, like a legitimate strike, and we couldn't go live. And it's just, I tell you, even the one time I missed we used to do Radio Gun pre-tapes, and you could go back and you could edit stuff out and add stuff in, and I actually added some stuff in, and it's just not the same. And we don't get your terrific, witty, awesome comments because, as you know, we have the best chat on the face of the earth. As intimate as it is, the goal sounds like steel toe. I got your steel toe, pal. Unfortunately, I know who that is. I know who that is. It's PCB. Hello, PCB 23. Welcome, sir. The emojis are there that don't display correctly. I don't know if that's Sarah's department. I don't see, yeah, I don't see a ton of emojis here, but if anyone can help the cause and help us reach our goal, I'm not sure. Sarah knows what it is entirely. I get very uncomfortable talking about greenbacks, and Scratch is already lying. Let's say Gamma Man 69 says internet smile. Okay, Smiles the intern went to. Oh, okay. Well, Smiles is the broad who Ronnie Mund was creepily hitting on in his 60s, and she was 19 in the Stern compound. And I bet you she has one of those like DL Hughley lawsuits that they never that kind of Howard threw money at to make go away, which are out there in multiplicity. I guarantee you she did. She had a huge case. I mean, that documented on air intern harassment from this fucking creepy Eugene. I mean, Chauncey made me dislike him even more than I already did with his stories of scores. And thank you, Chauncey Hayden. And we will. I don't know. We're gonna do a Lotus soon, and I'm not sure. There's so much shit I have in this folder. It's criminal not to get to it. And Leah Remini is one of the and rest in peace, Mike Rinder, her really, I don't want to say sidekick, but I didn't realize he was almost 70. So he's the Scientology defector who what's it, Clearwater is where the fucking ground zero is, and the two of them embarked on taking down Scientology pretty deftly, I might add. And I got into that for a while, and yeah, Mike Rinder passed away, I think, of cancer. And I don't know if anyone knows who he is, but he had like a kind of a almost like a hybrid Australian British accent, kind of. Mike Rinder, the Sea Og. The emojis don't show up. Sarah says, thank you, YouTube. Clearwater, thank you, PCB. He knows his Florida. There's Babs to Rush. Welcome, Babs. Welcome. Who did I miss? Mary Jean up there. Okay. While we wait for Davyd to come on board, the birthday boy, I'm going to read. I want to go into Lily Rose, Depp, and Nosferatu. This is interesting. I didn't. It had a 50 $50 million budget, which is not a lot. I'm a little vampired out, as Artie's uncle would say. Jew broad fights Dracula's. Is kind of what, but somehow in today's dwindling box office, it is at $136 million worldwide on only a $50 million budget. And my question is, oh, so Autobot says, I saw Nosferatu. Lily Rose can't act worth a shit. Give me your review, Autobot. Give me your acting technical terms. What's your take on her acting style? And I know we all saw Idol, right? She had some comedic chops in the Kevin Smith movie Yoga Hosers. Um, so I don't. It's not that she doesn't. She has a nice little Deppian innate charisma. Um, but I don't know. What's selling that movie? I don't know. Hank McCoy is in it. My question is, Willem Dafoe has a huge role in this movie. Okay, and I say this all the time and this is going to be a big with that Terry Gilliam movie that Depp's doing with Jason Momoa. How on earth does Amber Heard not come up with Willem Dafoe? So she's clearly, I mean, Lily Rose is clearly uh, having, downtime on the shoot, having conversations with Willem Dafoe, right? Willem Dafoe, people don't realize he was in Platoon with Johnny, and he was in Crybaby. He has a very small role in Crybaby as a cop when they're in like a juvenile prison and there's like a musical scene. So he knows Depp. So I'm sure. Again, her talking about her dad, I sometimes think she doesn't because he is so omnipotent presence wise that maybe, but I don't know how they don't. But anyway, Willem Dafoe is in Aquaman with Amber Heard, and obviously they had a relationship. Lily Rose and Amber Heard were close at one time. How does she not come up? How do they not discuss that? Is there a mandate? Is there a gag order on all things Amber Heard, even on Lily Rose sets? I mean, she is a nepo baby, and one wonders. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you for the gift of Deppening memberships. She's like the Sweeney chick. I don't get the hype. I don't either. I never get the hype anymore. We are sheep, Marta. We are told to like these people and told to think they are hot. The first time I was onto that was, and I kind of pushed back and refused, was fucking Cameron Diaz in the '90s. I'm like, I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't understand when they name like the most 50 most beautiful people. It's not about beauty, it's about fame. And can we just crowbar beauty onto this already famous person? Like Jennifer Lawrence is, oh God, she's a Clearwater 6. She's a Tidewater 7, 6, 5. And if you saw her walking around a mall, you wouldn't care. But somehow she's considered this. We were fawning over her, and she's, if you saw her in a mall, there are 10 chicks hotter than her every 10 feet, but she's in the top 50 most beautiful people. It is so stupid. Amy Adams is a great one, Marta. She ruined those super. Her as Lois Lane is the most miscasted. It is as miscasted as Benji Bronk as a head writer. Lois Lane has black hair, and Zack Snyder couldn't even darken her hair. She looks like Lana Lang, and somehow she was very boring too. That they casted her because she's supposed to have some pep or pop and sizzle, and she played it as banal as possible. She's hardly attractive. I don't get her either, Marta. I swear to God, that was a perfect answer to that. Amy Adams, that's perfect. Amber Heard say people Scarlett Johansson is the world's most. Yeah, she's pretty, but Huck Finn is right. Scarlett's, but you walk into any given Starbucks in any given major city, and there's probably either 3 girls working there just as cute as she is or online. And we are brainwashed into thinking these same names. I don't. It's bizarre, and we all fall victim to it. And Perry White is a white guy. I know they're obsessed with casting. Just it's what's his name from The Wire now is Perry White after fucking Lawrence Fishburne. Lawrence Fishburne, by the way, has a cameo in the Avengers. I'm not the Warriors. That would be a good crossover, right? The Warriors with the Avengers. He's in one of the gangs walking into the subway to meet at the Bronx Cyrus meeting, and he's got to be 18 when this happened. So hey, Chubby Pickle, thank you, sir. Arm, if you were flying solo, I would have jumped on. You want to come on, Chubby? I'll send you a link. Davyd's going to be on soon. I didn't know. I didn't know if it's an odd time. I had to pump this one out just to really test if we were live. But we are. I don't know if you're available, Chubby. You're more than welcome. There's Judy Wright. She's here, everyone. Judy Wright is here to defend all things Depp, no matter how transgressions. By the way, if you're listening, Wendell Pierce, thank you, Autobot. Wendell Pierce from The Wire, who I like. I like WP. If there's a Marilyn Manson documentary on BBC Channel 4, and apparently it goes pretty deep into his history of abuse, and I need to see this because it'll be instrumental in the next Deppening. If anyone has, I will hit Boff up, but I need to watch this because I need to follow up on this. We need to pound him into the ground once and for all. That overrated poser. His music sucks. He doesn't deserve to be friends with that. I think the thing that bothers me the most about Depp is his horrible choice in friends that he perceives as outlaws, or they latch on to him or doesn't see through it. I have not seen him and Marilyn Manson in the same place. She's also Lily Rose's godfather, which is just, I'm sure she's loving, as rabid feminist as she is. She's got to be cringing at that notion. She has to be. I don't care what anybody says. So we need him to just be canceled once and for all. If ever the cancel culture was great, it's to get rid of the likes of him. It's to weed that out. King, most beautiful people, Vanity, Apollonia, the chick in the warrior. Oh, she was in Too Close for Comfort. She's got some weird. Oh God, Valky. What is her name? Volcanda, or she had some strange last name, but she was the brunette in Too Close for Comfort. She was in the Warriors. She looks almost uh, like a great value Angelina Jolie for the age. Big, lips and Volk. God damn it. She played Jackie. Thank you, PCB. Look up Conan O'Brien, Marilyn. Oh, we did that on here, Huck. We did that on. Did you hear? We covered that. Conan O'Brien told a story where to Billy Corgan at the Private Parts premiere, Marilyn Manson was like terrorizing him, like got in his face and was just being really shitty. Just I don't know if he was trying to. Thank you. So Autobot, right? Deborah Valkenburg. They meet up with her when they go. The guy who leads the orphans and the Warriors looks exactly like Ralph Cirillo. That's when I rewatched that like 15 years ago. It's the first thing I noticed. He looks exactly like Ralph. Sky Spectre, no show. Snow on the ground, still not the truck. Cold, windy, can't get warm here. I'm sorry to hear that, Sky Spectre. I missed that. Sounds like a borderline psychopath. Yeah, Jesus, if I have, I don't know what folder it's in, but I must have it here somewhere. It was during a Lotus Notes, as a matter of fact. I think I played it once on a Deppening and once on a Lotus Notes. If I go look for Conan O'Brien, let me see if I got it here. Come on, Conan. Here it is. Well, I got it right here. Here we go.
Yes, I was around before '93. Me too. We were slaving in clubs somewhere, I'm sure.
I had this crazy year or two at the start of my show. It was very rocky, and we were doing a lot of weird stuff, and coverage was, people were not happy with what I was doing. And then I was invited to go to the premiere of Howard Stern's Private Parts. So I went, because that was one of those things where you go. It's a, you've been asked to go to this huge media event and you go. And I went, but remembered thinking,
just to give you context, this is Billy Corgan of Smashing Pumpkins, who's like a kind of off and on longtime friend with Madsen. He's from Chicago. I don't know why that's relevant. He wrote some of Courtney Love's songs, so there's a connection there. And also Trent Reznor despises Manson, and Trent Reznor is the reason Manson got discovered. And Trent Reznor won a fucking Emmy. You guys see that? He won an Emmy. No, Golden Globe Award. Was it Gold? Yeah, Golden Globe last for something. Was it that? God damn it! It was an animated movie, or was it a short? Might have been a short. I just saw him walk up, and I didn't see what it was for. And I promised I would screen record it and send it to Sarah, who actually she stalked Trent Reznor in L.A. and he had a following. Trent Reznor actually spoke out against Manson during all those accusations, which is a pretty damning defection. He's really like he's. I would say that it seems like Trent Reznor is beloved. You put him in that category.
I don't know. Do I belong here? Should I be here? And there's this, everybody in the world is there, and we're all packed into this.
Sarah's right here. She says Trent Reznor now has 6 kids. Unfortunately, not with me or Hedzik. Here's Davyd.
Hello.
Welcome, sir.
Sorry.
Welcome, sir.
I turned
right
a
after
year
this.
older.
I got a surprise for you. Right after.
Okay,
this.
yeah. No, I turned a year older, and suddenly I can't read an email of what time this starts.
Congratulations, birthday! 136 years old.
Exactly.
Right? Crazy. Yep. God damn it! You are everyone. Okay, after I do this, we're gonna get to your life. It's really relevant. It's not. I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but everybody's asking about it, so I just want to. This is, by the way, Davyd did this for us. This is.
Oh,
you know what? I'll play this, and then we'll get to all the Davyd stuff. I promise. Because we had somebody was inquiring about the Manson at Private Parts with Conan O'Brien.
Oh, I don't.
Which you didn't hear this?
I don't know about that.
Okay.
Maze and an emphatic stroke of Byzantine whimsy.
Conan O'Brien got terrorized by Marilyn Manson at Howard's Private Parts premiere.
I don't know about this. Wow, that's crazy.
Really shitty to him. So he's talking to. I know you people aren't huge fans of Smashing Pumpkins, but happy birthday, Davyd, says Marta.
Oh, thank you.
Happy birthday, Barbara DeRush. I want Hegseth to be my war dad. I want Flint from G.I. Joe. I want to be my war daddy. How about that? That's my choice.
I want Mark Harris to be my war daddy.
Yes, I was around before 93.
Me too. We were slaving in clubs somewhere, I'm sure.
I had this crazy year or two at the start of my show. It was very rocky, and we were doing a lot of weird stuff. And
that's true. His show was incredibly sucky.
Horrible.
The first 3 or 4 years is as bad as TV gets. And Lorne Michaels, who is a puppet master of, really was to blame for this, because you had, what were the names, Davyd? You had Dana Carvey.
Mm-hmm.
You had Costas.
Yep.
You had Gary Shandling. You had Dennis Miller got another offer. Yeah. He did a syndicated show that got canceled in 6 months. There's a couple other people, and there's tons and tons of capable
Arsenio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they went in the year 2000. Right. That was a bit they did. Right. That was good. That was like one of the big. But he had Robert Smigel, and that's always going to work. That guy has a great comedic touch, and it was just he wasn't a performer. He was a writer, and he kind of did some improv, and they trotted him out there, and he was way too needy, and he was uncomfortable doing monologues, and it showed. And because Lorne Michaels has such a hold over that network, and alongside Seinfeld and Friends and ER, he had those fucking Nielsen spillover rate, sloppy second ratings, right, that kept him on the air. Because any other situation, he would have been. I cannot tell you how many talk shows were canceled in the wake of, like, in the time he was allowed to stay on.
Well, and Greg Kinnear, and I'm trying to think of other. Well, although that probably wasn't his slot, but I don't think Conan's show got good until like even 2003 or 4. I think it was a decade of just
It almost seemed
awkwardness.
like 10 years. Right.
Yeah.
Kinnear's show was, I think Kinnear actually got offered the Conan slot too. I
like
do.
before Conan or to replace Conan?
No, before, like at that same,
At
because
that
he
same
was doing
time.
Talk Soup.
Right.
So I think they might have floated his name, but he had that, that 1:30 in the morning post Bob Costas. Bob Costas had a one-on-one talk show that was at 1:30 at the same time.
Right.
And he left it, and then Greg Kinnear took his place after Talk Soup.
Okay, that's right. I vaguely remember that. But
Talk Soup had, Aisha Tyler and John Henson and Hal Sparks. Talk Soup really is kind of what these guys, it's really like how do I put this? These sort of streamers who comment on other shows, like make fun of other podcasts, like, but they did it in their own television way.
Right. I mean, it's a proto like commentary channel, basically, where they would just like get an aggregate of clips from TV and, go through them almost like it was an entertainment news show, but they're taking the Mystery Science Theater 3000 approach of mocking these clips and doing shtick with it.
And Talk Soup did that in a TV way, where they would go through all those daytime shows, late night shows, and goof on them in the same way all these people do now.
And it's interesting to see like the evolution of that, where like Daniel Tosh with Tosh.0 is doing like internet videos, but then it's like, oh, we can just use the internet to make fun of internet videos. We don't need to produce a television show to do that.
And we don't have to go through network. We can just do whatever we want. We don't have to run it by producers or censor, none of that. We don't have broadcast standards and you can do anything.
Right.
It's really crazy. And it's such I hear these people that still listen to the Stern Show, and I say it's more pathetic in the sense that if you can't find something with all the options we have now, I don't feel sorry for you. You are mentally ill. You're, for lack of a better word, retarded. Like it's not an OCD. It's just like a soft brain that can't find other. It's inexcusable. You can't find other options.
I really want to know who's listening at this point. I mean,
they're not going to tell you.
Well, right. I know, but even like as like Radio Gunk and everything started, like even it's 10 years since the Stern Hater podcast thing sort of started, and even
in May it'll be 10 years,
right? And so it's like
10 years.
A decade of asking who is listening to this. It's like, how bad has it gotten since even 2015? Because I can't imagine the audience was that big at that time too. So I just can't imagine how. No,
we weren't listening. We weren't listening then.
Right.
I wasn't like my Radio Gunk melancholy was that the sort of, how do I put this? The redundant hypocrisy of giving like relevance to a show you're not listening. You come on every day, say the same thing. Oh, it's boring. It sucks. You're giving it attention, and we weren't giving it attention in 2015. We were doing like an occasional week in reviews. Now you're covering it every day is the most oxymoronic thing I could ever imagine. My brain was rotting, saying the same thing over and over again, trying to spit shine this turd. And it was like, I couldn't, and I had nothing to do with that format, that changing format, nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
What we do on Lotus Notes is really how I started it.
Well, and I always assumed that the people who still listen to the current show earnestly are the same people that think like, oh, we'll just put on CNN in a doctor's office. Like it's just
Yeah.
something. It's
In the
just
background, right?
filler.
Oh, it's a comforting voice that I'm used to. No, not you can't say that anymore. There's
Right.
too many options. Find something else. Don't even give them that. Don't even. There's nothing comforting. Is your brain just? I mean, how many chromosomes have you lost? Or shouldn't you be agitated? Just hearing how bad it is in the back, even in the background, it's
Yeah.
not good enough.
And the thing that the most recent clips of the show that I ever hear, there's so much dead air because he, there's no, I know there's no Artie, but there's also like not Gary coming in to run interference for one of the staffers or pile on. You're not getting those multiple voices anymore that kind of kept the energy up.
No,
And
it's all
so,
and if they do, it's forced and written out and rehearsed and it's
right.
outlined and nothing works. Nothing they do works. Like they can't, they have no, like I said this even back in 15. I said the only thing he could do, and this is what I would have pivoted to, is just a one-on-one interview show the whole
Right.
time. You can't, he can't riff, he can't do material, he can't, the staff is repugnant in every way, shape, and form. There's everything, everybody's on to how fake it is. It's corny, it's boring, it's late, just all the things that would get anybody canceled. Like I said, if you took that show and you took a sample size and brought it to a podcast company, they would go, you got to be kidding me.
Right.
This is what you're bringing us with all the options we have without his name on it, without his brand on it.
Yeah.
You've no excuse.
Absolutely.
I mean, okay. The birthdays wishes are coming in. Davyd, Barbara DeRush, happy birthday.
Oh, thank you.
Autobot, happy birthday. I said Marta said it before. Trent has 6 kids. Good afternoon, John. Happy birthday. Jody writes his happy birthday.
Oh, thank you.
Davyd. We'll get back to Conan in a second. Jimmy Pickle. Yeah, Marta. Carson Daly had a run,
yeah.
right? That was, and then he went away. And who's the Middle East? God damn, what is her name again? She's a Saudi Arabian chick. She's a comedian. God damn it, I forget her name. She took over. I thought they offered it to Chelsea. No, not Chelsea. Somebody else. It'll come to me later. Thank you, Judy. Right. Yeah, this is Depp adjacent. Here we go.
Okay.
Davyd makes everything sound fancy. He does. He does. You ain't seen nothing yet, Marta. A couple boondoggles are coming up.
Yeah. I'm just getting warmed up. Hang on.
Somebody used imprimatur the other day and mispronounced it.
Oh, did they? Oh, God.
Yeah. One of the senators yesterday mispronounced ethos. He kept saying ethos. He just kept over and over again. He kept mispronouncing it. He mispronounced 10 words. It was great.
Oh my God. Just a quick funny vocabulary thing. My favorite sort of vocabulary news lately is the word nonplussed is misused all the time.
Yeah.
People think it means the opposite of what it actually means. So nonplussed makes the sound of it makes it feel like you're not excited or something, but it's actually the opposite. It means that you're bewildered.
Yes.
And so they've added both definitions to the dictionary because people just keep getting it wrong. So it totally invalidates the word if it means both things, but I always thought that was funny.
I saw somebody the other day going off on gaslighting, how misused, overused and misused it is. It was great, but I love that you get dictionary updates. That's the best.
Oh yes,
I love it. Okay, here's Conan about his Marilyn Manson story.
Coverage was, people were not happy with what I was doing. And then I was invited to go to the premiere of Howard Stern's Private Parts. So I went because that was one of those things where you go. It's a you've been asked to go to this huge media event and you go. And I went, but remembered thinking, I don't know, do I belong?
Hey King, do you have access to AJ Benza? I don't know. He's not on Twitter anymore, right? I would love to get him on with Chauncey because I know him. a little bit from Gunk, and we're from the same part of Long Island. He's from West Islip. I lived in a town called Sayville, which was what is, unless it moved off the map. Uh, uh, it's about 20 minutes east of West Islip. But it's the same town. They're both very white, like 99% white. Same, they excel in the same sports. Probably the same income. If you did like a median income of it,
Right.
it's frighteningly similar. I think we have the same like team colors,
Oh, wow.
purple and gold.
I remember thinking,
that was
I
my
don't
high
know,
school.
do I belong here? Should I be here? And there's this, everybody in the world is there, and we're all packed into this crazy situation. And I think the next thing I know, Marilyn Manson is like in my face, maybe doing a bit, maybe not, trying to get me to drink out of like a chalice of something that looked evil.
Now Marilyn Manson is in like, professional shtick coma
Right.
mode at all times. But as they're saying now, is this shtick or this is really who you are?
Yeah.
Right? This guy is who you are. You turn it on and off as it's convenient for you. But this throwing a chalice and this, nervous Conan, he's like, he knows Conan's going to be terrorized, and his goal is to terrorize him. Right? I mean,
Yeah.
there's no other goal in sight.
And
you're not breaking his balls, you're terrorizing.
right. And under the auspices of Howard and Private Parts, he probably feels emboldened to behave like this,
Yes. This is where you do all that, right?
Exactly.
Right.
So you can get away with it, and it's under the guise of shtick coma, but it's also like, no, I am lashing out. This is genuinely, whatever his real name is. What is Marilyn Manson's real name again?
Brian Warner.
Okay, yeah. This is Brian Warner working off steam at the same time.
Yes. Yes. By the way, he's from your precious Ohio.
Oh, I didn't know. Is from Cleveland or
no? The home of the NFL Football Hall of Fame, Canton.
Oh, in Canton. Okay.
Maze and an emphatic stroke of Byzantine whimsy.
I did that because you said auspices, which is one of the great word. I learned that from Phil Hartman, by the way.
Oh, really? Okay.
He was on Dennis Miller's HBO show, and he said auspices.
I was going to say, was Phil Hartman playing Ken Burns, and he said auspices?
Ken Burns. God damn it.
It was all very weird. And
Do you remember who he was with?
Yeah. Oh, so I the last text I had to Davyd. I said God, what was the word, Davyd?
Oh, hang on, I gotta look it up.
Shit. It's
I'm looking it up. Hang on.
It means the changing of moods. Ken Burns he is beyond. He has got to be the top echelon of $10 words. I couldn't believe this guy in 5 minutes how many words he punched out.
Well, you sent me interrangum, I think is what it is.
That's not the word. That's not the word. It'll come to me. It's vicissitude.
Vicissitudes. That's okay. Yeah.
Vicissitude. 3 days in a row. I'm going. What about? I was like talking to myself, going, "What about the vicissitude? What about, don't forget about the vicissitudes." If somebody said vicissitude to you in like any day, like you would just go, "What the fuck is this guy?" Vicissitude.
It's someone
vicissitude.
Right. It's someone who would talk to me about like flowers being perennial or something. Like just
vicissitude.
What 19th century English gardening show did you come from?
Chubby, I sent you, Lily Singh. Thank you, Autobot. Look at Autobot watching Lily Singh.
Oh, Lily Singh.
2:00 in the morning.
Yeah, that was a disaster, that show.
Yeah, that's who ended up having it last. The what's it called? Last call.
Call. That's right.
Backup center. I love it. Do we need an Antoine Carr? Says Chubby, come on anytime you want. Use that link. We'd love to have you on. Arm, I wanted to tell you that Colin Cowherd is a Buckwall. I knew that, Tells. I knew that. And has to be bigger than. He's easily bigger than Howard right now. Easily. He used to kiss Howard's ass some of the times I listened to him. Colin Cowherd, Davyd, is a sports guy, and he's on Fox Sports. He does like a 2 hour. He used to have a radio show, and he's a Buckwall client. It's like a 2 hour show. It's like, I want to say it's 10 a.m. Pacific time.
Okay.
And it's just it's probably the only stable thing on that whole network. Everything gets shuffled around and canceled, and they just had a huge sex scandal with what's her name?
Does do Don's children run the agency now, or
yeah.
Okay. Got it.
His daughter ran the LA division.
Okay.
I think his son committed suicide
Oh, geez.
because I was looking at some Joy Taylor. Thank you, Tellers. Yeah, this huge kind of sex scandal with her at the Fox. Just some weird, like Skip Bayless like offered her like $1.5 million and this weird bet. And he's this 71-year-old like with a spray tan and blow dried hair, and he's got like fucking Asperger's, and he does nothing but talk about the Cowboys and Tom Brady and Jordan. Like Asperger's, like he doesn't know how to talk about anything else but these, no matter how relevant that is to the sports scene. And he's just a weird cat.
Skip Bayless is in that like Maury Povich, like he
does. Well, yes, that's a good
look your age,
comparison.
but you do look your age, but you don't, but you do.
You always got the tan going. Yes,
right.
Back to Conan. Joy, thank you, Tellers.
I don't.
Jenna Jameson.
Well, oh, that's right. Oh, right. Okay. Well, your memory's better than.
So again, he's talking to Billy Corgan of Smashing Pumpkins, and so Jenna Jameson is at this private parts premiere.
Than mine. I think I was more focused on what's in that chalice than who's he with. But I was feeling really uncomfortable.
Yeah, she's a Nepo baby too. Thank you, Tellers. She's a Jason Taylor, former Miami Dolphin linebacker. She's the younger sister of him, and that's how she got in initially.
Okay. In kind of almost a high school way, like I don't belong here. I wish I wasn't here right now.
Sounds like you're recounting the lyrics for Creep by Radiohead.
Yes, I am. I mean, I remember thinking, I wish I had a different body.
Now, this is ironic because Marilyn Manson would tell you, and that Depp uses this narrative too, which I don't buy. Oh, we're outcasts, and I don't feel like I'm part of the... No, you're doing that. Now, you're bullying him. He's the outcast. You're not that. This is your domain.
Right.
In Marilyn Manson's life, he's really not an outcast. If you read his biography, it's really not an out at all. He moved to Florida. He had a ton of friends. He's not an outcast. If anything, Conan's the outcast here.
Oh,
and he believe he's the victim, right?
Well, and what Conan's leaving out is I'm sure he felt assaulted by the Howard Stern show with the Jackie puppet appearance.
Oh, yeah.
And
that was the worst moment for him, the Billy West
right.
Jackie puppet moment. Absolutely. Good
so
point.
I don't know anything about Conan in terms of like stories if he's a monster or something, but he comes off as someone who is probably pretty insecure. And so I imagine he's telling the truth, that he would feel like an outcast just by virtue of the fact that he's not doing edgy comedy like Howard or edgy music like Marilyn Manson, quote unquote edgy,
Well, I mean, he's looking around this premiere. If you remember, this is Howard trying way too hard to be cool, right? So he's through K-Rock. They're recruiting all these, top 40 K-Rock song, from, I think the Chili Peppers were there too. I mean, the tons of Alice in Chains were there. So there's really hip bands of the moment from that soundtrack. Perry Farrell and fucking Jane's Addiction and Porno for Pyros and just every who's who of, and he's there and he's just sort of like, nerdy comedian on the verge of cancellation who just got terrorized by Billy West. And he's already coming on there with like 2 strikes against him.
Yeah, I mean, he's the Irish Catholic altar boy coming to this like heathen hookah party, So
was he an altar boy?
No, I'm.
He might be.
He might
think
have
he's
been.
from. He's from Irish Catholic family.
Here right now.
Sounds like you're recounting the lyrics for Creep by Radiohead.
Yes, I am. I mean, I remember thinking, I wish I had a different body. I wish I had a different soul. No, but then you, who I didn't really know well, came over and just said, like, to Marilyn Manson, like, back off, dude. And then you were like, Conan, how are you? You were so nice to me.
Well, I was a fan, so that helps.
Well, but what I recall is everyone else was being so performative and self-conscious, trying to outdo each other in some spectacular way that would get attention. And you just cut over and in a very Midwestern nice way, said hi to me and established a bond. And every now and then that pops into my head as you sort of coming out of the fog as a nice, decent person.
Oh, thank you.
And being nice to me. And so I just thank you for that, because I owe you one for that.
I have a similar story from Jimmy Fallon.
Mm-hmm.
So that's that, and I don't know how, I have to like go back because I think I have that whole video, and if I could find Conan on it and see where they were located and see the who's, that's a good one, absolutely, to go for a future
the
Lotus Notes. That's a really
like
good one.
the E special on the Private Parts premiere.
Oh, they had, I mean, he had commandeered MTV, the E channel. I mean, you couldn't do more promotion.
Right.
Like every single scene in that movie, you couldn't. So the fact that it only made $41 million is ridiculously underachieving. Ridiculous. Like it is. He had a whole MTV. Like if I talk about this all the time, he must be lying about his list, even then, about his listeners, because if, let's just conservatively say if a movie ticket was $5, right, and you have 20 million listeners, wouldn't you think every listener would see it at least once in the theater?
Right.
That's $100 million. So it made $41 million. That's just horrible. He had his own show to promote it every day, an infomercial for a year, more than a year straight.
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, because it seems like people did there must have been some. Either publicists or producers must have quantified how valuable press by going on Howard's show was from 94 to 2003 or 2005, and he must have been able to sell some things. I mean, I guess if people went on and they actually had a good movie, that makes the difference. I mean, Private Parts is not a good movie, so I'm sure just word got out that it's this like milquetoast love story, and it's not even a love story. And there's way too many narration styles, and all the problems with that movie.
And it stops in 1985,
right?
And went direct, to answer your question, Sarah, and went directly against Donnie Brasco, which is really the gist of the show today. And it came out in a pretty crowded year. And I remember my cousin and I like going, "Oh, we've seen every scene in his, deluge of spots and commercials and promotion for it." When we saw it in the theater, I'm like, I saw every scene somewhere else before the movie came out.
And they probably did the trailer thing of showing the best scenes from the movie in the trailer.
They did.
Right, because that's how you're going to get butts and seats. And then you're sitting there just, watching Mary McCormick discover a pair of his underwear in the car. And it's like, well, what the fuck am I doing here?
The contemporary fans were just like, wait a minute. No Gary.
Right.
No Stuttering John. Jackie's
barely
just
any Jackie.
in. Yeah, it's like, what? That was a huge buzzkill.
Yeah.
All right. So I want to, this is getting back to Davyd. This is something I just threw together for you for your birthday. This is a song we were talking about the other day, and I know you people love this movie. I'm not sure how my people stand with it. You're gonna have to explain, because I don't even think I got through this movie, but I do know this song. This is Stephen Bishop. Time. I've been passing time, watching trains go by. All of my life, lying on the sand, watching seabirds fly, wishing there would be someone waiting home for me. Something's telling me it might be you. It's telling me it might be you. All of my life, looking back as lovers go walking past. All of my life, wondering how they met and what makes it last. If I found the place, would I recognize the face? Something's telling me it might be you. Yeah, it's telling me it might be you. So many quiet walks to take, so many dreams to wake, and with so much love to make. I think we're gonna meet sometime. Maybe all we need is time, and it's telling me it might be you all of my life. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Davyd. Happy 136th birthday, Davyd. Happy birthday to you.
Oh, thank you. And you wonder why Brendan thinks you and I scissor, you know.
Did he say that?
Yes, in the comments.
Sarah does too. Sarah does too.
Yeah.
Sarah, she doesn't need any motivation to emasculate. She goes, and Barbara DeRush, yes, arm brought back. That is classic yacht rock tendrils.
Yes.
Stephen Bishop, right?
Just to people in the chat, I texted Arm like a week ago because I was watching Tootsie with some of my friends because that's what my people do, and and I just as a movie that had New York and that kind of late 70s, early 80s, even though it's a comedy, it's still kind of like when the city was that kind of dirty.
Well, that's what I told you. It's like, how does this relate to Depp? I'll connect it to him in 2 seconds.
All right.
So the star of the movie is Dustin Hoffman.
Yep.
Bill Murray is his roommate. And how much is Bill Murray in the movie?
He's in it a fair amount. I mean, he's definitely one of the lead people for sure.
I completely forgot about that. I don't even think I've seen it all the way through, but somehow I know that song. God, Tendrils loves that yacht rock. Yeah, I'm gonna karaoke soon with that. That was Deppioke. That was Depp singing.
Right.
If the Hollywood Vampires had any balls, they would do shit like that.
Oh,
that
absolutely.
would be the funniest fucking thing on
There's nothing better. There's nothing better when you have middling musical talent to engage only in ironic songs.
Yes,
like, that would be the best thing they could do. I totally agree with that.
Barbara DeRush, Arm is the king of AM radio. When AM radio was still kind of going, like you could occasionally you would just go, you know, any station that came in, you go, oh my God, that Stephen Bishop song or Christopher Cross, you know, like the names.
Or the Arthur theme, and yeah.
Oh God, I think Christopher Cross is the king, I think, of yacht rock. I don't know if it gets any better than him with yacht rock.
Yeah, agreed.
But thank you, A. Smith. Thank you, sir. You are the best. Welcome, Kathy Scott. Marta goes, I love yacht rock. Marta, you ever watch Tootsie? You know, that's Stephen Bishop's song. I know the song better than I know them. So anyway, Johnny Depp, what was he in with Dustin Hoffman? I'm gonna ask you.
Oh geez.
You're not gonna get that. That's okay.
No. Wait. Give me.
People forget about this movie, even though he was nominated for an Academy Award for it.
Depp was.
Yep.
It was
the Weinstein movie too.
Finding Neverland, right?
Yes. Okay. Good catch. Good.
Which I saw.
What was he in with Bill Murray?
Oh God. Okay. It's probably really.
It's interesting too because he's in drag in Ed Wood, and that's what Dustin Hoffman does in this.
Oh, right.
So he's in Ed Wood.
That's right. Okay, I forgot.
Yeah, he's in Ed with Bill Murray. It's almost like nobody can't connect him to now.
Yeah, was he? Because the other, it's like Terry Garr, Jessica Lange, Charles Durning. Was he in a movie with Jessica Lange at all? Depp?
By the way, you have no business watching Tootsie. It's negative. I know you're 136 years old, but you're -8. No, but he is with Artie Lang in The Fourth Floor. He's never been in a movie with Jessica Lange, actually.
Okay, interesting.
Kathy Scott says, "Happy birthday, Davyd. Mine is in 3 birthdays."
Oh, fellow Capricorn.
God damn. Depricorn for our purposes.
Right.
136 years old, Marta. He says 36, but we all know it's 136.
It's a lie. It's a cover. Well, according to Crazy Robin, I am 236.
200 years old. 236. Now, I know you people. See, I had this sweet, and I don't. Please don't get offended. And this is not a stereotype. This is how I think and thought back then. I feel like you people are immune to natural disasters. When 9/11 happened, I was living in Park Slope, Brooklyn, and I felt like the gay community was immune to the effects of night. Like like the building would fall over you. Your hijinks and fun in Chelsea and the West Village
You keep
continues.
on dancing.
You don't
right?
care about any of that stuff. You don't care about the financial district. You people don't care about any of that stuff. You were so unaffected by it. And I feel like the Southern California fires is somewhat the same thing. You are in West Hollywood. Everyone is asking about how you are. So give us an update on that. And please bring it back to Depp. Tell us how the Sweetzer compound is.
Yeah, so I live in Woodland Hills, which is in the San Fernando Valley, but it's I go to WeHo a lot for work and stuff. But yeah,
you people are saying WeHo, right? So West
yes.
Hollywood, yeah, okay.
Yeah, WeHo around all the time. So anyway, I'm in where I live is insulated by enough concrete that it hasn't been a problem in terms of, any fire, crossing major highways and major intersections. The air quality is not very good right now, so I'm just kind of staying indoors. But in terms of Depp's
Sweetzer talk about yourself first. I mean, don't.
Okay.
I know you feel pressure to bring it back to Depp, but a lot of people are asking about you. And what's your stake? I mean, am I right that you people aren't as affected by the fires as one would think?
I mean, for the gays living in West Hollywood, they are not as affected because that is another concrete jungle that just, there's not enough heavy forestation to really lend itself to, the fire escalating quickly. But no, I'm doing fine. I mean, it's weird. It's a weird time, and just you see the writing on the wall that like LA has changed forever, and I'm
well, you were already plotting an exit strategy
exactly right
as it was, right?
Yeah,
if this didn't push you over, I don't know what, but like concrete. My cousin's in Burbank, and that's concrete as well, right? He's right down the street from Nickelodeon.
Yeah, I have a lot of friends in Burbank who are also fine. It's in the middle of the San Fernando Valley is basically in between all of these mountain ranges that caught on fire. So on the east side, it's the Eaton fire, and then the Palisades fire is on the west side. And but again, it's a lot of people who are living in the mountains or sort of at the foothills, the base of the mountains. So I don't know, maybe just Los Angeles gay men are not outdoorsy enough to live in an area with a lot of trees.
But
no, I'm actually going back to Cleveland on Sunday and then driving up to Toronto for a concert that I'm working. So I'll be gone for like 10 days, and I'm hoping things will kind of settle, and I just plan to be volunteering where I can. And it's the only way I can sort of deal with it emotionally, because otherwise I just feel very depressed about it. So
are you going to touch base with Testicular Providence?
Is he in Toronto?
He's in and around. Yeah, he's close. Yeah, he's in and around Toronto.
Oh, is he? Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
He's not in here right now. But
if he's in the chat later, I'll let him know.
I know people who, Charles Barkley being one of them, that says that Toronto's like the most fun, best city in all of North America. I've heard that from not just Barkley, a bunch of people.
Yeah, I went there as a child because it's again it's 5 hours from Cleveland, but I haven't been back as an adult, so I'm looking forward to seeing it. Now that I can probably enjoy more things about it. So yeah, should be fun.
Davyd is somewhat the composer version of Chris Hayes in terms of it's not a bad template.
Everyone.
I'm just gonna get to the word boondoggle. This is the only other guy on the planet that used boondoggle besides Davyd.
I mean, really, everyone understands Donald Trump is just an inveterate liar, right?
Inveterate. We got to remember inveterate.
Inveterate, right? Yeah.
Inveterate.
He's lying about everything. So what it means is they can just pick and choose. Of course, we did not. What we got was an expensive boondoggle, and the make.
Can you believe another human being said boondoggle besides you?
God.
Can you believe that?
It's funny because my mother used that word when I was a kid, and so I thought it was like a funny word that she made up for our family.
That's how you learn, man. That's how you learn. You just pick stuff up from people, and
Right.
that's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. So no, I'm glad my the occipital Rolodex that is my vocabulary.
The what Rolodex?
Occipital.
I'm sorry.
Occipital
Occipital.
lobe.
Guys, occipital. Guys, I may not be able to go on without obsessing on occipital. What? You didn't even do that to rock my world. This is naturally flowed out of you. Occipital. Guys, can someone put the definition in that chat? Occipital. My God. How do I go on after this? Vicissitude in occipital? My God. Tendril says, if you live in a concrete jungle, you aren't going to have the same kind of impact. It's basically people living in the wooded area.
Yeah.
Davyd, I had Davyd. Yeah, this is what you want to do to someone in like the most natural disaster in the history of mankind. I said, go to Dan Schneider's house and take pictures. Hopefully it's gotten destroyed. And he may have, what's your gay superpower, Davyd?
Pairing the right kind of champagne for the mimosa at brunch. I don't know.
Why is there not a gay Green Lantern that he would use the green ring and make a construct of a towel that you would snap Sinestro with?
That's
right. That would be the funniest fucking thing in comic if you did that.
There should be some ironic like queer legion of superheroes that like.
Well, there's a gay North Star's gay. North Star's an Alpha Flight.
I didn't know
That's
that.
Canadian Avengers. He's gay.
Okay.
But you're right. That would be so. A towel snap construct from a Green Lantern ring would be the best. Okay, what the hell was I saying? Okay, so you're going to Toronto, which is great because it'll like literally let the dust settle. How are you? Are you going out of LAX or Burbank?
I'm going out of LAX. So
you could also use Long Beach, right? If you want to.
There's the and also in Orange County, there's the John Wayne Airport, which I could probably do. But I'm already getting emails from United saying like the fires may affect your flying, but my Weather Channel app is saying like the winds are going to go down to like 5 to 10 miles on Sunday when I leave. So I think it's going to be fine. I've already had friends who have left in the last couple days to go back to their home state. So I don't think it's affecting air travel that much.
Robert Rush wants to know if you've seen any hot firemen running around, Billy Baldwin running around with his hose.
With their euphemisms, right.
Do it live.
Right.
Go ahead, sorry.
No. Maybe in the aftermath when I am volunteering with like cleanup stuff, I ain't going anywhere until the air quality is a little bit. There's like, asbestos and lead in the ash and stuff. I mean, it's really scary chemicals that are in the air right now. So,
it's too bad the Depp trial is not going on. People would be making puns. Amber Heard,
right?
And they would throw that together.
Do you remember?
That's all I could think of when I hear that.
I got when we did to the chat when John and I did the last Jump Street, my phone went off because there was an Amber Alert, and
oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. That's right.
So we were talking. It would be funny if there was an Amber Heard alert, like she throws up the amber signal in the sky.
Hey Frank, thanks for that legalese. Where I asked Frank about what the hell was it over, Frank? I asked you a legal question and you answered it about the beaches. He had a term for. I said, the oceans. Like, what is this? You charging to go on the beach, and he had the legal term for this thing where you commandeer so you can charge like a cover charge to get on the beach.
Oh,
it's like you buy up like a certain. Now some states prohibit that. Like I think Florida, I think there's no cover to get on the beach. Last time I was there, and I know certain parts of California. But New York, every 10 feet, they have a new name for it. I know you people have Fire Island and Pines and Cherry Grove. Every 10 feet, Robert Moses is a new name. I ran into a Getty at a local grocer in Annex 10 years ago. He was picking up fruit, super humble, awesome guy, just an average dude with tons of money. And they're out there. Autobot, isn't like Gorilla Monsoon used to say, Arm nailed it with the ospherial pituitary. Yeah, they used to like the wrestling would have like these crazy body part names. But that's Davyd, you are a genius, says King. I agree with that.
Oh God, no.
You are. We all agree. We all agree.
Don't overpromise that description of me.
Speaking of Davyd, and this is again, he did this for our Deppening. He did this for the 21 Jump Street Watch Along, 21 Arm Street. This is the piano version of the Jump Street theme, which I have to send to Hasberg and Holly Robinson and Greco and Dustin Gwen and where is it? It's in the, I know I have it in this folder. Oh no shit. Is it in the Chauncey folder, Davyd? Is it in the Chauncey folder?
It might be, because I sent it originally on a Lotus Notes day.
We see. I know that the still is your spider fingers.
Yes.
Playing. Fuck. Come on. Oh, here it is. This is Davyd's 21 Jump Street tribute. And that's going to be the new closing for 21 Arm Street. It's going to be, so we do Sarah's opening and then we close it with that. And it's just perfect. Even the way you play it out, it's just great. I mean, honestly, anything you do, we're going to play it. If you want to do that Stephen Bishop song.
Yeah.
Sky Spectre says,
I want to cover the other. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, you go.
I wanted to cover the other shows that we like, 90210 and Seinfeld and stuff. I want to.
Oh yeah, right. You could do the 90210 fucking song. That's right.
That song is really fun.
Have you ever tried it before?
I could. I mean, I would just have to listen to it. I mean, sorry, it sounds like I'm bragging.
That's okay. You should.
I just have to listen to it a couple times and just work it out. And that one I would probably have to write out. The Jump Street one, I just kind of figured it out and committed it to memory and then filmed that video. But the 90210 one is long enough and there's different sections to it that I'd probably have to take the time to kind of notate it a little bit. So
we were talking about the last Jump Street podcast, like one of the coolest jobs. It's so much fun. And there's so underrated talents. These guys who play the organ at like sporting events.
Yeah, right.
And they just play like weird pop. Like people, I'd say 99% of the crowd doesn't even know what they're playing. Like you just like, and something like that will pop. There's nothing cooler than when you recognize like a TV theme the guy's playing and nobody cares about it. Like, holy shit, is that the theme song from Who's the Boss?
Right.
What?
Well, I always feel like they're playing like it's some older person who's playing like Baby Elephant Walk or like Sanford and Son or so, they're playing like groovy 60s and 70s things,
They feel like no one's listening anyway. I'll just play whatever I want.
Right.
Jesus. All right, let's go to Jack Depp first.
Yes.
This is Mixologist. We talk about on the Deppening and even on the Jump Street. He's actually in our closing tonight. You see him go. He gives the middle finger to the clerk in Yoga Hose. Yes. And he towel snaps, and we have him on here. We constantly ponder what he's up to and what is he doing. Is he a party boy? He stays out of the line. Lily Rose embraces the limelight. She just like goes crazy on the nepo baby stuff. There's nothing she'll turn down. There's no role she won't go over. She is all in on the nepo babydom, whereas Jack is completely repelled by it. He stays out of the limelight. He's seemingly in France more than he is in there's shots of him at the old Sweetzer compound. By the way, Davyd, before I forget, so what's the deal with Depp's play? Orange and Sweetzer, right? That's where the compound is.
Yeah.
Orange Avenue and Sweetzer.
I'm sure it's fine. There was a fire in the Hollywood Hills that they got contained pretty quickly a couple days ago. And because he's at the base of, because he's right off of
Somebody needs to see Joe. Help me with the house.
A lot of towel snapping on this episode, right?
Yeah.
We're talking about Green Lantern and
who's filming that video?
Marilyn Manson. Great connection, Davyd. I can't believe you remember that. Very nice. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're good. So because the Sweetzer compound is sort of like at the base of those mountains, I'm sure it survived. Now, Morrissey, I don't know. Maybe his house is.
Yeah, so Morrissey of the Smiths supposedly lived in the same compound. I don't know how it sets up. I showed you. Did I send you the? I know
the
I
Isaac
sent it to, like,
Baruch picture.
Yeah. Isaac Baruch on Instagram with shots of. I guess looking out onto the hills. Did you recognize what he was?
Yeah, I mean it's from his house. I'm sure it's like, the fire is kind of on the east side of Los Angeles. He was probably looking at. I'd have to see the picture again, but
yeah, that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah,
but yeah, he was commenting on it, and then but that's the Sweetzer comp. That's where he lives. He's there all the time.
Right.
Tata Tuthi, Broadway Arm. Yes, Stephen Bishop, Broadway Arm. Thank you. Oh no, not Morrissey. We Mexicans love Maz. What is it? Mazzilli? I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm jumping around. My friends who live right off Hollywood Boulevard, says Tendrils, were evacuated at the height of the fires. Yeah. Really? Did you witness this?
Well, I heard like they were evacuating sort of around where like even Hollywood and Highland, where Jimmy Kimmel tapes, and Hollywood High School is there and everything. It might, sometimes it's because of like air quality. So it's not even that you're in danger of your property catching on fire. It's more like, you know, there's tons of toxins in the air and you should probably get out. But all that stuff is at the base of the Hollywood Hills. So, you know, I think they were getting evacuation notices.
I mean, you know that Johnny Meyer looks at this as an opportunity for auditions. Like, it just weeds them out, and he's like, "This is not going to stop him from auditioning and going." This is an opportunity for him,
right? Yeah, trying to audition again for Gary Marshall's corpse. You know.
Oh, I didn't know that. Autobot Maz is Morrissey's nickname. I didn't know that. Jesus Christ, you're a savant, man. I didn't know that. The more you ignore me, the closer I get. You're wasting your time. Well, the Kimmels have to crash at Castle Gayskull in room full of cats.
Yeah, totally.
I wonder if that's going to happen, Tata Tuthi. That's interesting. Will the Oscars be canceled, right? I mean, the SAG Awards. I know we live for SAG Awards.
Well, I mean, there's so many like labor forces that depend on the Oscars for, you know, like a big part of their yearly income. So I think practically it's not like, I think Rosanna Arquette had a tweet where she's like, let's turn the Oscars into like a huge fucking telethon to not necessarily the rich people in the Palisades, but the middle class and working class people in Altadena that lost their homes, you know.
It's a great idea.
So I tried to share that around my various social media.
If you try to follow the fallen celebrities, the names change all the time. I've seen James Woods was the first one I saw.
Yeah.
Mel Gibson.
Yeah.
Let's see. Jenny Garth. This is for another 200 show. Jenny Garth had to move in with Peter Fasinelli. Peter Fasinelli over here, and that's her ex-husband. How great would it be if Amber Heard had to move in with Depp?
With Johnny Depp. She lives in like Palm Springs or something, right? Does
I'm not. I thought I heard that, but who knows? It could have like multi residences.
that's true.
Yeah, Rosanna, yeah, meet you all the way. Ta toothy Rosanna, yeah. When I wake up in the morning and close your eyes, Rosanna, Rosanna. You know that song, Toto?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
You almost have no business knowing it, but
well, I mean, I know it because I know Toto, but John Williams, the film composer, his son is in the band Toto.
and played power forward for the Cleveland Cavaliers, backup center and power forward for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Hot Rod Williams. There's another John Williams. I called him Hot Plate, and he was a very talented guy. He was about 6'9", 320 pounds, and he maybe more than that. And he was handled the ball, played 4 positions, and he just could not stay in shape.
Wow.
Yeah, I want to hear him compose with you, as a matter of fact.
Can I say something about Jack Depp really quick?
Yes.
So you were talking about the difference between Lily Rose really embracing the spotlight and her nepo baby dumb, and Jack like repelling it.
Yes.
And I'm reminded of there's a line in the movie Broadcast News where William Hurt said, William Hurt plays this news anchor who isn't that smart, but he gets all these opportunities to host these big news shows. And he says to Albert Brooks's character, like, what do you do when your real life exceeds your dreams? And Albert Brooks says, you keep it to yourself. And that's what I think Jack Depp is kind of doing. Where it's like,
that's a pretty deep pull.
You lucked out and you hit the jackpot, no pun intended, of who your father is. And you know what? If you want to enjoy it for as long as you can, keep it to yourself. Like, don't embrace the spotlight. Don't give people any reason to hate you or try to take advantage of you or anything like that. So I think he's playing it right between the two children.
You got to remember too, like, coming from that family, I mean, these two, Depp and Vanessa Paradis, I mean, it couldn't be more out of touch than Hall & Oates. Right. Vanessa Paradis was basically a kid. She's been famous her whole life. Canadian singer. She's never had a regular job. And Depp might have been in the regular world for 2 or 3 years. So he's coming from a family with just completely out of step with what normies do. Like, there's no. I mean, Depp hasn't had a taste of regular life since 85, 86.
Right.
When he first moved, he has the story of him. I sold pens and I pumped gas and I worked construction for 2 weeks. That's it.
Right.
From that point on, he hasn't. I mean, you're talking about 20 now. That's 40 years ago.
Yeah, and we're talking about, like we were talking about on Jump Street. Like, this is a man who, the dream of opening the Viper Room became a little too expensive. So it's like, great, I'll just do Nick of Time.
Yeah. He was shooting that while we talked about that, right? When I showed you that while the Viper Room was rocking and rolling, and it was so convenient that he could kind of go back and forth. And I remember the director, John Badham, said that he was showing up like just hungover, and you could tell sweating. We on the last
alcohol sweats.
Yeah. The last Jump Street we did it because what's her name? Gloria Rubin from ER is in Jump Street and Nick of Time. So we showed her, and we showed a clip of the two of them acting together in Nick of Time. And Depp has like huge forehead sweats, and it's clearly alcohol sweats.
Well, and my point is that, like, maybe someone close to retirement age is like, you know what, I'm going to take a chance. I'm going out on a limb, and I'm going to throw all my money into opening up this bar, this restaurant that I've always dreamed about doing. And, and then when it doesn't go well, they have to declare bankruptcy. But Johnny Depp is like, oh, I'll just take a movie that I don't want to take because I'm so into
that was, I think I bet you the salary for Nick of Time, and I can't get a firm on the figure of that. I'm going to say he got $5 million for it.
Yeah.
I think that goes right into the Viper Room at that time. I couldn't understand what he was so wealthy from, even to buy it at that point, because all he had done was, the Jump Street salary was good, but not what it is today. And I think he burned through that. And the Scissorhands salary, I think he got like low 7 figures for that. And they saved a lot of money on him because the other guys up for it were Hanks and Cruise and Michael Jackson. And so Benny and June, again, like low 7 figures, maybe. So I don't know he always seemed rich, no matter what he was. You remember the Mark Hotel incident with the Ed Wood in New York? That was a
Right.
$10,000 a night hotel suite. How is the Ed Wood fucking budget
Right.
paying for that? The movie made like slightly over 7 figures internationally. Even
Right.
though it today, it's way bigger now in hindsight. But Ed Wood made nothing when it came out. I think I personally constituted half the box office.
Right.
I saw it 6 times.
And I wonder if that's a product from like the Tim Burton is a huge. It's weird that like Batman is such a huge success and Scissorhands was still. I mean, maybe they were making Scissorhands before Batman came out.
Well,
So
I'll tell you exactly how it went.
yeah.
Batman came out in '89. Scissorhands came out in '90, going into '91, the Christmas of '90,
Okay.
and then Batman Returns came out right after that.
Okay.
So it's sandwiched in between the 2 Batman movies.
So I don't know.
Beetlejuice came before the first Batman.
Right. So I don't know if there's just like Ed Wood is riding on the caught the wave of these major tentpole
It is.
movie
No, you're
successes.
spot on. I
Yeah.
think Burton got to do whatever he wanted to, and he said, "Let's do, this." I think you got to be older to know who Ed Wood was. So I
Right.
think you have to be kind of Burton's age. You got to be kind of like born like at least in the early '60s or older. Like what fucking Gen Xer is going to know who Ed Wood is
Right.
until that movie? I didn't know who he was until the movie came out. No, I had no idea. So
Yeah.
it was like a legend that Plan 9 from Outer Space was such a bad movie that they would show it like in theaters and people would do like a, Rocky Horror Picture kind of thing or Mystery Science Theater
Right.
kind of goof on it. It was like an ironic thing you would see.
Right. And then I don't remember if like Mars Attacks was a big success. Like if Ed Wood is sort of the I've made enough money with the Batman stuff and Nightmare Before Christmas, so I want to do something experimental like Ed Wood. Did he think Mars Attacks would be like a big commercial success?
Well, Mars Attacks looks like an Ed Wood movie, doesn't it?
Right.
The way it's right. It's. I think that was Burton's attempt at going. Let's make a. What would Ed Wood do if he had a budget?
Right. They're companion films in some weird way.
Yeah. It looks like that's what I thought it was when it came out. I'm like, is that an Ed Wood movie? And it's oddly a non-Depp Burton movie. And
That's right. Yeah.
Jack Nicholson's in it, and also Planet of the Apes.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
When Burton works with black people, they have to be in ape garb,
Right.
because Michael Clark Duncan's in the movie, but he's in ape garb, so you can't even get a real African American. And Jim Brown of your beloved Cleveland, some might say the best football player in the history of the sport, has a cameo in Mars Attacks.
Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't realize that. Okay.
Crystallopoulos, welcome, sir. Yeah, Tata Toothy. We did a 902 Shannon Doherty and Luke Perry in the same. They're both dead, and then I don't know if anyone. Ian Ziering got attacked by bikers a year ago. Did anyone see this?
Oh,
With his
yeah.
daughter, his daughter was in the car and shit. It looked like Sharknado 6 or whatever.
Right.
And it's a weird thing. It's starting to be like a 90210 curse. The name of the podcast is Scott Scanlon lives or something like. Scott Scanlon is the dude in the only one who's truly a kid on the show and had a cowboy hat, and they wrote him off season 2 and hashtag Scott Scanlon lives.
Interesting.
No. Hashtag justice for Scott Scanlon.
Okay.
Arm thinks Depp got $500 million stolen from him when he just blew it like Sean Kemp. Well, the reason he had so much bravado, G Canada, during the trial was because we didn't know this at the time, but he had fucking Prince MBS bankrolling him. Right. That's why he's strutting in and out of there with not a care in the world. Like if you knew that was bolstering you, like you wouldn't give a shit.
This was just a publicity stunt. It wasn't for recouping any money, right?
I still don't know. I mean, I think the more I think about that trial, the more how stupid I think it all was.
Yeah.
I really, and I don't want to get off on that. I'm sure we'll circle back to it again, but
yeah.
I think Did he start? Well, yeah. So Modi, I think Kathy's talking about the Terry Gilliam film. No, I don't think that started yet. Where he plays like Satan and how does he do a movie with Jason Momoa and not talk about Amber Heard? How does that not? How would she not come up 1,000 times during filming that? It would feel disingenuous if she didn't come up.
Yeah, it is one of those like. I don't know. I've never seen Depp have to deal with like an elephant in the room kind of subject matter.
No,
if he would
they're told to dance around these subjects. I guarantee it. They read the riot. Even a big star like Momoa is told, "Do not bring up fucking Amber Heard."
Jeez, and they better get going on that movie. Terry Gilliam's like 85 or something.
He's 80. Yeah, no, he is. We talked about him. I didn't realize he was that. He's 80. You're absolutely right. You know how much energy directing takes? Like, can you imagine being 80? Like Clint Eastwood's fucking 99.
Right, doing Gran Torino.
Isn't that crazy? Like 80 is not the same. People who are 80 can't even make it back to Costco and back.
I know.
And this guy's directing a movie.
Oh, it's crazy.
All right, so let me do the Les Modi. I just added to it. Okay, ready? So this is Jack Depp and his current. This is as much as we're gonna get on him. This is from fucking Lipstick Alley, which was a Dan Schneider. This is one of the early gossip sites that outed Dan Schneider with a lot of gossip that turned out to be true. So they have the pictures to back it up. So this is Johnny Depp's son Jack has a secret job as a bartender. Oddly, isn't it crazy? The Viper Room. He missed the whole. He lived right behind the Viper Room.
Right.
And you had Adam Dervitz from the Counting Crows bartending there. And he works in a Paris restaurant where his mother, Vanessa Paradis, and sister Lily Rose are regulars. Hollywood legend Johnny Depp's reclusive son has been working in secret at a Paris restaurant. Daily Mail Online exclusive. By the way, I tried to post these pictures. This is the creepiest thing, the way the internet, I guess it's like metadata. Just as a preview of like on YouTube. They blocked the pictures.
Oh, wow.
They wouldn't let me post the pictures. I didn't know you could do that. I didn't know that pictures were that you could have any kind of.
Where did you get them from originally?
Here.
Okay.
Jack 22, the spitting image of his dad. No, they're not. He looks like if Depp had Down syndrome and had a kid with John Mayer. Is rarely seen in public and keeps a low profile despite. Hey, Chubby.
Can you hear me?
Something's rattling around over there.
How about now?
No, you sound good.
Oh, I'm okay now?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, fellas. I was just setting up. Happy birthday, Davyd. 136. You look good, brother. Same here, man.
Thank you.
CP time. I love it. CP time. Chubby, I love it.
I'm getting my truck work on. Like I'm taking a staycation right now, and I just dropped $25K to get my truck redone.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, man. Whole overhaul, getting the interior done. You gotta take care. We'll take care of you, man. You know, no worries.
Thank God that's a write-off for 112 Productions and Infinitum Nile. We'll have Depp's company, Infinitum Nile, write it off. God, welcome, Chubby.
Hello, everybody.
Threw a Hail Mary, and here you are. I love the Horace Grant hat you have on there.
Hey, man.
Look at that.
Hey, Arm, I'm waiting for my Armor-Mania sweatshirt I ordered.
Did you really?
Yeah, 3X.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Oh, my God. This is the best.
I was hoping it would have came, man. I would have wore it today, man. Geese some love, man.
A real Bulls fan is wearing swag now. Like, it's one thing to wear it during the Jordan era, and it's one thing to wear it now. Like, the Bulls are, if you take the Jordan era out, they're kind of an obscure team. They're not brought up a lot in conversation, even in contemporary NBA. And I welcome anything Horace Grant. Where was I? So back to the article here. We're reading about Depp's son Jack right now, and he's his bartender in France at a place like right by. But I think this is like almost like civilian blackface, no pun intended.
Yeah.
Jack, the spitting image of his dad, is rarely seen in public, keeps a little proud despite his celebrity genes. His mother is French singer Vanessa Paradis. She's 51. Jack has lived in the shadows of the dark shadows of his A-list family, unlike his sister Lily Rose, who's currently starring in the grammar in this, starring in Dracula's smash Nosferatu. Prefers to stay in the background. Jack does. But Mail Online has discovered that he has been working in a trendy Lebanese restaurant called L'Aria in the French capital's hipster Bastille Quarter. The venue, with its exposed roof rafters and mosaic floor, is popular with music and fashion industry types and is also a haunt for movie stars, including Matt Damon. Can I tell you my favorite Matt Dillon story?
Quite briefly.
Isn't it? Real briefly.
Real briefly.
Isn't it crazy how celebrities, even in France, have their own, oasis and getaways, and even here they set up that they can never. It's no coincidence they're there. It's not a.
Yeah.
One recent review said, "Excellent, always a warm welcome and a delicious experience at the cozy restaurant. Good food and a wonderful host." Jack, who is named after his 61-year-old father and grandfather. By the way, I've gone into this before. Jack and John are the same name.
Yeah.
And it's like Dick and Richard. It makes no sense. And I have labored over that.
Hey, John, it's Jack McGarrett.
You remember that? That was my first therapist. I can't believe you remember that. Hey, John, Jack McGarry. It was reversed. He goes, "Hey, John McGarry." I'm like, "John McGarry? What? I have a therapist named Jack." He's like, "Yeah, Jack. Jack and what?" I'm like, "What do you think? Jack McGarry?" He's like, "Yeah, Jack and John are the same name." I'm like, "No, they're not." What? Jack? Huh?
I'd kill to hear this comedy routine that you two did on that phone call.
It wasn't. It was a stupid kid, genuinely confused. William and
Right.
Bill and stupid, right?
That's great.
There's a lot of female names that have that too, that are the same.
Right.
Okay. So where am I? So the venue. One recent review said, "Excellent, always a warm welcome and delicious experience with the cozy restaurant. Good food, wonderful host. Jack, who is named." Pictures of him working at the restaurant are now on the venue's social media, and there is also footage of Lily Rose, 25, slumming it and preparing cocktails behind the bar. So here is Jack serving with I guess a Parisian pitcher here.
Wow.
And it looks like a screwdriver on the right. If I were to guess what that is, orange juice and vodka, I want to say, full of ice.
Looks good, too.
It does look good.
Mm-hmm.
And the ice, I'm staring at that ice and trying to figure out the shards and stuff. And there's a black woman. I would never have guessed. It was a black woman on his left, our right, sitting down, staring off. Hollywood legend Johnny Depp's exclusive son has been working secret at a trendy Lebanese restaurant called L'Aria in Paris' hipster Bastille Quarter. So this is his boss, I guess, the owner. And he's got his hand on this. He's 22 here. It's you can get Jeffrey Epstein audio and pictures easier than you can get Jack Depp footage.
That's a nice outfit, Jack.
Isn't it? So this guy, I guess, is the boss or manager. Looks really... What is that clicking, Chubby? What is that?
I don't know.
Do you hear that, Davyd?
A little bit. I don't know if it's like a cord.
It could be a cord rubbing up against them.
Okay, let me. I'm gonna mute this and check it out. Hold on.
Okay.
Sorry, fellas.
That's all right.
Good.
So this is him, and down. So this is the other owner, Jack, with restaurant owner Edward Chuk, who told me he had been working at the restaurant for 2 years before leaving a few months ago. So this came out in December. So he's working there for 2 years.
Working for Grandpa Joe from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
As we scroll down, he has like a makeshift, like a typical kind of nurse COVID mask on.
Right.
I guess this is still knee deep in that. Seems genuinely happy to be there. Restaurant's manager, there he is again, goofing around behind the bar. This is a very small place too. Jack poses behind the bar alongside manager Edward. His boss told Mail Online, Jack is a great guy. He keeps out of the limelight, but he worked here behind the bar and in the kitchen. He has like an ironic show. It says "Love Zoe."
He keeps out of the limelight, but the mystique around him drives enough attention to my establishment, so I love him. You know.
Oh, I know he loves it. Yeah, absolutely. He wants that word out as much as he can get it out. He pretends to honor his anonymity, but he loves this.
Yeah.
He leaks the word himself. There's Lily Rose doing this is like I said, bartender blackface or commoner blackface.
Working class blackface, right? Yeah.
Showing her preparing skills of a Chaperinus cocktails behind the bar.
I have no idea what that is.
It leads me to believe these two are in Paris or in France far more than they're in America.
Also, I love how there's significantly more pictures of the manager than either Depp child in this article.
Manager Edward has been running the restaurant for 15 years. Instead, Jack left a few months ago, but he's expecting the youngster to return later next year. Wow, a little bartending hiatus. Only he could pull that off. I guess he gets like a bartending pension of some kind, or Jack spent 2 years working at Loria before leaving, but owner Edward Cheeks expects him to return. Jack is a great guy. I read that already. This is a weirdly written article. He was a good employee. He left for a few months ago, and I expect him back later next year. Good staff are hard to find. We should do like a reality show with this. I've been running this place for 15 years, and it's very popular with the fashion and music crowd, but also film stars come here. He loves it so much. That's the way the Viper Room started. Like Depp claimed, this is just going to be a place for people who love music. It's not going to be a tourist trap of any kind.
Right.
Oh, that's exactly what it is, right, Davyd? Is it anything but?
Oh yeah, those sentiments from Johnny Depp cut to like Pamela Anderson and Tommy Lee punching out reporters on their way out.
For so many people, it's their like claim to fame, like their best. It is the like personification of Hollywood.
Yeah.
The Viper Room, almost like in a caricature kind of way. And Vanessa has always tried to keep her children out of the spotlight when they were younger, and in a 2007 interview with Belgian media, underlined her aim. She said, "Now I indeed keep them away from the cameras because I don't want our children to be forced to share in our fame against their will." Like Vanessa does a really good job of. I mean, you never see her. Yeah. It is really tough to find. She did an interview with some broad magazine, I don't know, 10 years ago, but you try to find speaking footage of her, it is impossible. She's also in Yoga Hosers. She has a role as a French teacher.
Oh, I didn't know that.
In the movie. Now, they love saying this. They didn't ask for that. Yes, Lee did ask for it. The day they will decide for themselves to do things that might bring them into the spotlights, but then I won't stop.
Was this written before Lily did the Idol and stuff, or?
Oh, I thought you were going to say, is this written by Marilyn Manson or something? This article. Jack Depp stands back to back with his manager while working at a trendy restaurant. It's like they filmed like a Phil Collins video here with Philip Bailey, Easy Lover.
This manager is very he loves his photo ops.
Isn't that like a sitcom?
He's a 22-year-old bartender. He's a 57-year-old bar manager. Can these two get along?
Mixologist. The mixologist. Jack, so there's Vanessa on the right. Jack's mother, Vanessa Paradis, and sister Lily Rose are regulars. So this is them. This is like their haunt. This is their cheers. This is the place they go. And damn, they're very.
It looks like somebody's basement.
Yeah, it does. It does. This could easily be in like Greenwich Village.
Wow.
Jack, who was named after a 61-year-old father, been working shifts behind the bar, also downstairs in the kitchen, nuzzling up and making a mixed meze. I think this is his girlfriend on the right. I want to say Jack working behind the bar with his colleagues. In 2014, his father spoke of the relief that his son hadn't followed him onto the big screen and said, my boy Jack has always been a very talented draftsman. Is that just, why not just say artist? Draftsman. Get your draftsman, pal. I'm getting off. This is probably Yeah, this is 14. This is 10 years ago.
He's a very talented draftsman, and now he's serving draft beer. So he was right, I think.
Very nice, Davyd.
Good
Depp pictured
callback.
his children like Lily Rose and Holly Rose in Japan in 2013. Pictured here, the Lebanese restaurant in Paris where Jack Depp worked. Trying to remember hipster, and this is just kind of shots of the Ray. If anybody else is there, this guy looks. Daily Mail reporter Nick Pisa pictured here at the Lorraine. So Nick Pisa and the Daily Mail appear to have like a monopoly on the Jack Depp biographical sketch. The outside LA Lebanese restaurant where Jack's mother, Vanessa Paradis, and sister are regulars as the manager again. The restaurant's owner spoke glowingly about Jack. He's a good employee and good staff for hard. They're rehashing the same article.
Yeah.
It's a classic thing. You have a younger. Okay, so this is okay. My brother used to dress up like Dracula. So they're doing this also to promote Nosferatu. She did an interview. Yeah, Lily Rose did an interview with Natalie Portman in Interview magazine where Natalie Portman interviews her. That's interviews thing. I didn't think it was still around. And it she actually speaks about them a little bit, and I might have to do that next time. It's a classic thing when you're a younger sibling, they think you're so cool when you're kids. And then you get older, and now I think he's so cool. And I'm like, let's hang. And he's like, I'm busy. But yeah, I'm like, I got some points with that one because I guess they were both into Dracula. He draws super well, and he plays, and everyone plays. Pictures on Jack's social media show him playing guitar. And he doesn't have a social media. And somebody has like co-opted his social media and somehow have like these really rare shots. On his 18th birthday, she posted an image of the pair cuddling on Instagram. Happy birthday to my love sister. Coming of age celebrations on her Instagram and posted some unseen. She wrote, my little baby Jackie is 18. My baby bro, my heart and soul. Happy birthday. These two are really close. I mean, it's good to see. And I don't know if it's that thing when like privilege due to kids, like you need to be in touch with regular people, and I'm going to have you work as a bartender so you know what it's like to really, because they are born on third base, more than Greg Nettles.
Yeah. And that's cool that he's trying to make his own money and not live off dad.
He's living off dad, but I think it's just to work a regular job. They have a if you watch the trial, Depp claims that it's all going to them. I mean, they know what's coming to them. They know the mother load, and Prince MBS had bailed them out. But it is noble that he's just doing that. Maybe he just wants to. You see stories about I just wanna experience. What is it like to be? I mean, he could have been at the Viper Room for Christ's sake.
Well, and if you get everything that you've ever wanted materially in your life, eventually you are going to be that bored, bratty child sitting on a pile of toys that you're bored with. So you eventually hit rock bottom and like, maybe I should do something with my time. Like maybe activities are where it's at, working a job or something.
The family would go there and hang out, right? And the owner probably knew them intimately and said, Jack, you do anything? You want to work a few shifts? And if like one of that things, he's like, sure. And then the mother encouraged them, and you need to, do something that normies do.
Right.
And this is fun. At the same time, you're technically working. It's not super, super busy where you're going to be going nuts. And I don't know. I could also see Depp and Vanessa Paradis being like embarrassed on their behalf. Like, oh, our son's kind of like just, a jet setter, and he's not really like, we got to get him doing like the lowest rung of manual labor. So we don't look like shit parents, that he's just going to live off us. So I wonder if they encourage him so they look like better parents, Yeah, they know the perception of, and then Lily Rose had that Nepo baby saga last year, right? When Idol came out, right? It was just nothing but, you remember that model that came out and said, oh, great. She didn't mention her by name, but everybody knew she was talking about Lily Rose. She's a model and she's 5'2", right? That's just ridiculous. Like it's the dumbest industry on the face of the earth. It's so stupid. It's about fame, and it's not about, so they're hiring her based on her last name, and they're going to pretend that it's not the reason. And then modeling claims to be about height.
Well,
right? And
Right.
you can't be under 5'8", but now they're high, so that was ridiculous.
And my favorite thing about the whole Idol press was that any article that talked about it referred to Lily Rose in the article as Depp, because it's the last name that's famous, not her first name. And so they went on both counts where they're referring to her, but they're also getting people who are just skimming the article to think that, oh, is it Johnny Depp? Wait, what Depp is it?
And she knows full well she was cast. She has to. She'll pretend she got it in some fair audition with like 10 other people, but the the producers, HBO, fully knows that name coming off that trial, and all that. She's over the. They knew exactly what. There's not a shot in hell that they're not banking on every fucking Deptford wife doing, and it didn't work. And it didn't work. They don't. I say it often. The Deptfords don't turn out. They don't. They don't see. They're not filmmakers. They're star effers. They want. They think they're going to marry him. Right. They're not into film. They didn't turn out for Jean du Barry. They didn't. They did nothing. They didn't turn out for fucking Minamata. They're not. So if that were true, they were banking on that, and it didn't work. It didn't work. Yeah, G. Canada's right. This Prince MBS could bankroll second world countries without breaking a sweat. He's that wealthy. It's crazy.
Wow.
You remember, Jared Kushner, Trump's son-in-law?
Son-in-law, yeah.
Apparently, he bankrolled him. That's why they talk about, like, why is he so wealthy and what the hell happened? He bankrolled him.
Interesting. Okay.
And so this guy is like literally like a genie in a bottle. He just snaps his fingers and makes 3 wishes. And Will Smith and Russell Crowe and Depp end up. And he can. I think that he was bankrolling Depp during that trial. And I think that's why Depp had so much bravado walking in and out of there. Yeah. Because you would be terrified. I mean, Amber Heard, say what you will, hate her if you want, whatever. She's got to be terrified during that. The whole world hates her. Right, she's driving in and out of there, just getting booed and hissed, and people throwing shit at her, and then she's testifying with the world hating her. Right, I mean that's and Depp knows how beloved he is.
Yeah, I think I think that's why it was more of a let me clear my name more than I care about the money thing for Depp.
I just wanted to humiliate her. I think he just wanted to humiliate her. Clearing his name. His name was already. Davyd, you did the show with us.
Right.
I said this a million times. He was already cleared. The court of public opinion had him cleared before that trial even started. He lost in the UK, and people still said he was innocent. The majority of the public still didn't believe anything she did, even though he lost resoundingly in the UK.
Right.
Before this, he was already exonerated. You didn't need it. You didn't even need to do it.
Yeah.
The court of public had spoken already. That's a good one, Tata Toothy. Shatner and Dan Rather, 90-something years old. It's crazy how good they look and act. You're right. That's a good one. Hey, Pell. Now let's listen to the clicking coming from Chubby. Let's see where it's coming from.
Nope, that's not me, bro.
It's something adjacent. What is that, do you think? Let me put you in and come back. Ready? So now it went away. Right?
Yeah.
We did this on Radio Gunk all the time, where there'd be a clicking coming from one of us. We couldn't figure it out. Oh, my BJ Armstrong over here. That's a good one. BJ Armstrong is now 50. He's the Ralph Macchio of Black Point Guards. He's got to be 57, 58, and he looks like he's 27.
Right.
Right?
Is it back?
Okay. You're back. I don't hear clicking yet.
Any
relation to Steve? They were crashing Autobot. If anybody has any theories as to what the clicking is with Chubby, let us know. It's not that bad. It's not. It's just,
we can live with it.
I'm sorry, fellas. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. No problem. Jack and John date. Oh, thank you, Frank. Jack and John date. The 13th century diminutives would form on names by adding borrowed from the Dutch. The medieval of John was Jan, which became Jankin, then Jackin, and finally Jack. What the fuck is that?
Damn.
What a weird derivation.
Frank got that information.
Thank you, Sarah. Yes, everybody, if you can contribute to the cause, Cash App, Venmo, that top right, what is it? It's called a QR code. Thank you, Sarah.
Hey,
Help us
sir,
get closer to our goal.
what's
Yes,
left?
Chubby's. Go
What's
ahead,
left?
Chubby.
Ask her what's left, man. I'll drop it right now.
Oh, Chubby.
Oh God.
What?
That's so generous.
Chubby wants
No
to know
worries.
what's left.
Yeah, what's left?
$25,000 for a tires.
For some tires. Good God.
Where are you buying those tires, by the way? Barney's with no
No,
rider?
man, it's not tires, man. I'm getting my motor rebuilt, rear ends, new tires. I'm getting
What
the
about the
interior
rims?
done, everything, man.
Davyd wants to know about the rims.
Yes, of course, always.
I'm heading out to California too, man. I gotta help with that relief, man.
Yeah,
From Atlanta?
yeah, right.
Yeah, I'm already getting calls. They need help out there with drivers to come that way. So I'm gonna
How
go.
long? What a guy! You are a Met. You are going
Yeah, you're a
to
hero.
the pearly
Thank you.
gates, my man. You absolutely. What does it take you?
From Atlanta
28
to
hours to drive there?
No, man. I leave. Let's say Wednesday. I'll be there Friday morning.
Really? And you stop once?
Remember, I have a truck with a shower and toilet in there, so I just pull on the side of the road to do what I gotta do, and I just
That's
keep on
great.
trucking, brother.
Do you know all the spots that's safest to do that?
Yes, I do.
Every single one. Like you must by now. You must have it all. Like Nebraska and Arkansas. This is where you go. That's crazy.
Yep.
That's crazy. Thank God the internet's
great.
developed now that you can look stuff up and you're never going to be stuck.
No, not me.
30 years ago, it's a way different job. It's for everybody. It's just drivers in general. I don't know how we even went on vacation without GPS. I don't understand it.
Yeah. By the way, John, the new TomTom should be Jax and Jack. Jax Taylor and Jack Depp open a bar together.
He would. That is not a bad yeah, Jack Depp opening a bar. That might be the future. He takes that over. That could very well be.
Could be.
It's a very noble vocation too. I mean, it's not easy. I remember Ben Affleck said that when he moved to LA, it was easier to get an acting job than a bartending job.
Right.
It's actually not easy to get a bartending job. And they usually go to chicks like the power of the puss. And it's great to be like a 20-something chick who's an 8 or above, gets the job. Doesn't matter how much mixology skills she has. Doesn't matter how good at it, doesn't matter how slow. They get those jobs probably 10-1 over a guy.
And I drove by the Viper Room probably 3 weeks ago, and it was at night. They are closed. There is nothing going on. There's no bands playing. It just seems like it's kind of a coffin at this point. So maybe Jack takes over the Viper Room at some point. Who knows?
That's a great theory, actually. But I don't know if they're going to go. If all the LA fires just scaring everybody away, and they have such good options around them.
Yeah, I mean, give it 6 months, and I mean, it's going to take years to rebuild the places that burned for sure. But like in terms of, I don't know. I think certain ways of life will come back sooner than others.
Black Morticia Adams. I said that I wanted to know, and I think I got it right. Now the Viper Room relocated. It's in an apartment complex, right? Isn't it like at the bottom of a luxury apartment complex?
Oh, is it? It might be.
They remodeled it and moved it, and it's like at the bottom of a apartment complex now.
Oh, okay.
Like where you go walk into it. It's like, and I think it's also a restaurant.
Okay.
I mean, I that's the last I saw it. I'm almost positive.
Okay. Yeah.
Sarah's gifting memberships, Deppening 5 memberships. Pellel says as well. I've tried to get. We hated her cause because she was a liar, and everyone knows. But Depp lied too, Judy. Depp lied too, and he also cheated on Vanessa and Amber Heard with Rochelle Hathaway. So he cheated on her just as much. It's a two-way street. They were mutually abusive, and if Depp's fucking got her by 25 years. How is he not the adult in the relationship? Johnny Depp doesn't get abused. He's got too much access. He's got too many stooges and goons around him. He doesn't get abused unless he wants to get abused. You really can't believe that he could allow that. It takes 2 to tango, and she's toxic, but he fucking pursued her. He wanted a Hellcat. He pursued her, and he cheated on both of them. So he's not. I mean, it's amazing how his charisma has kind of spit shined everything, all the foibles. because it is a two-way street. Did not need that trial at all. It's all about who do you like better. It's not about who's guilty.
For its
She's
popularity
horrible,
contest.
and he found her. He pursued her, and he's 25 years older, and she's got to be the accountable one in the relationship.
Yeah, the trial was a referendum on who has more star power, basically.
It is. That really is the lesson to be learned from that. Just the whole Hollywood machine and Q ratings and charisma and see through, like nothing about the legal system even played a part in that. Yeah. You like Ben Chu and Camille Vasquez better than Rottenborn and Brett Hoff.
We watched the clip that one time of Amber Heard had left the courtroom and Johnny Depp turns around and waves at the viewing gallery, and they all wave back at him like they're excited elementary school students. Yeah, it's crazy.
Almost like if you saw that in a film, it would be a comedy. Like you'd be like, "There's no way a jury would do this. There's no way a court
would allow that.
Do that. Yeah, would allow that." I never believed her from the day TRO. I thought the bruise on her face looked fake. That's all right. I mean, nobody believed anything she said. It kind of sounds like we're all clanking drinks together, says A. Smith.
Sorry,
clank. I don't know. If he doesn't know what it is, I don't know what it seems like it's not. It's more subtle now. I won't know what's left for a day, says Sarah Chubby. For Google opens my wallet and takes their cut. Damn. Kathy got her membership. Thanks again. Ever since Coyote Ugly, it's impossible for a man to get a bartending job. That's really funny. John Goodman was in that. John Goodman played one of the
Goodman's in a million movies that I just forget he's in. Yeah.
His house got taken out, by the way. I think I saw that somewhere.
Oh, shit.
In the fires. That's right. God bless you, Chubby, for going. I can't believe, like if he's coming from Atlanta to go there. Could you imagine? Yeah. Like no one has any excuse if Chubby's coming there from Atlanta. There's firefighters from where Sarah is in Oregon going there. Nobody has any excuse not helping out.
Hey, Davyd, are you close to there?
Yeah, I'm in LA County, but where I live in the San Fernando Valley is kind of a concrete jungle. So
you good?
We're safe. Yeah. Everything's good.
Be cool out there, brother. I know it's bad. I know a lot of people out there that's calling me now, like, "Hey, bro, when are you guys coming?" You know, I'm like,
right.
I can't do nothing now. My truck's in the shop, but as soon as it's ready, I'm heading that way.
No, bless you for that. I mean, yeah, it's crazy.
The FEMA still owes me money from Katrina, bro. I did 3 loads.
Oh, Jesus.
I did 3 loads. 2 loads of ice, 1 load of chicken.
Oh my God.
I only got paid for 1. So they still owe me money. I get an email like every other month. "Hey, Sean, don't worry about I'm sorry, I get my real name." They're like, "Hey man, just hold tight. The government knows you. We still owe you some money." I never forgot about it now.
Chubby, they don't know if it's SEAN or SHAUN.
Unfortunately, I share the same way spells like Diddy.
A. Smith goes, "Dude, bartenders have learned how to adapt to their job industry. Just ask the dude on the dumb Vanderpump." Dumb? We should call it Vander Depp rules, right? And then have Lisa joins forces with Jack Depp.
Nice.
Vander Depp rules.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, it's called Vander Arm rules on Patreon. That's right. We got to do another one of those soon.
I would. But yeah, we do. I would love to see Jack Depp in a million photos with Ken Todd, the way that manager was like creeping up to him.
I'm not giving Amber a pass, Judy. Do we really need to pile on her anymore? What else could you do? What would make you happy? You gonna put a bullet in her head? What are you gonna do? She moved to Spain. She's not even in the country. What do you want for her to do? Right? I mean, Sarah actually showed remorse the other day. She goes, "Poor Amber Heard." This is what she said in exchange we had talking about. Poor Amber. She has to deal with Depp's accent and Elon Musk's accent. So Elon Musk has that like Brit African accent. It's like half British and half African. And those are the 2 accents she was exposed to.
Right.
But he's a cool guy though, Elon Musk.
He's a what, Chubby?
He's cool. I met him before.
Did you really? How long ago was this?
About 2 years ago. I was gonna buy. I had ordered a Cybertruck, and I was sort of on the fence. And just so happens he was at the place I was in Vegas, And he was shaking everybody's hand, man. And he was talking to us, and hope you buy my vehicle. You know what I mean? Telling me about SpaceX.
It is crazy how intrepid you are. There's almost no name we can bring up that you haven't met, or any area or state. And it was recent.
Let me say this. I know the other day you was on, I was talking about wrestling. I don't know much, but the things I do know about is those two things, trucking and wrestling. And I've came across so many people. Like, seriously, Arm, if you really want to get deep into it, I got some wrestlers' phone numbers in my phone. Like, I can call and like get them on here if you want.
How do you know them so well?
Shows, moving stuff. I moved stuff for the NWA back when Ted Turner had it before they changed the WCW.
Yeah.
ECW. I got pictures with Paul Heyman. I did some stuff for AEW last year. So I be around all those guys like Chris Jericho. I've been knowing him for a long time. Oh, is she?
Yeah, huge.
Wow.
She still watches it. Like Sarah, who's your favorite wrestler again? CM Punk.
Oh, he's all right. Yeah, he's cool too.
Oh, you know him? Okay.
I saw him when he did was it UFC or MMA? Yeah, he's cool.
I'm like a lot of people where like I know the old school really well, and I just dropped out. You know.
You see, that's me. That's why I was telling you. Like when I hear Davyd talk, and you know he has that soliloquy that Nick Bockwinkel talk, man. That's why I was like, yo, he is nice, man. I love hearing him talk, man.
Oh, thank you.
They said that Chubby says you sound exactly like Nick Bockwinkel is an old wrestler from the AWA.
Davyd, later on, Google him. Just Google him. Just Google Nick Bockwinkel interviews and listen how that man talks. That's you right there, brother.
Okay, cool. I'll check.
Being that you're 136, you know you're a little older than him, but check him out, man.
Right. It's a little after my time, right?
Yes, Barbara. Yes, thank you for that is what a pussy fog does. 23 to 25 year difference. That's right. That's the power of the pussy fog. It was really what that trial is, and that's how she gets her hooks in there, and that's how he goes along with it. Like I'm Bill Redurka at the fucking West Sable Fire Department or something. Brendan, that's a reference to this guy we grew up with.
It's not even a famous person.
No, it's not famous. He thinks it's William Redurka to you, Brendan.
That's
just bring up Amber Heard and they go, Judy's not the first man to run off with a younger woman. Well, it's getting younger and younger, Judy, but he is the first one to be taken. He's first. I mean, that doesn't mean he should know better by that point. I mean, he really, how did he let it happen to him? Then why, if he's so wise, and it is the pussy fog, and he didn't really have anything to lose because nobody believed her anyway before the trial started. He had nothing to lose because nothing changed. If anything, his films got worse after the trial. And his music career and art is the boringest, most insipid anti I've ever seen, and nothing's gotten better. It was toxic. I knew that was going to happen. And now, anytime you bring Depp up, I dare you to disagree with me on this. All you think about is him and Amber Heard and that trial. I knew it was going to usurp everything. I said it the day before it started. Before the trial, I said it to Sarah on her show before we even covered it. I said, watch, this trial is going to usurp everything he's ever done. It's going to become what he's defined by now. You're not going to even think about his work. And here we are.
Didn't you find a chart that showed like as Depp ages, his
girls get
younger?
Yep.
Yeah.
Now we're looking at 32 and 35. They're younger than his daughter. Defend that, right. Judy. Would you let your daughter live with a 25-year-old?
I would say that we're closer than the average mother-daughter. If I lost my mom, I can't think about that for too long.
Sorry.
What was
that? That was somebody was calling the chubby line. Sorry about that.
Oh, I thought it was.
Sorry, y'all.
That's okay.
I thought it was Amber. I thought you were like playing Bon Jovial and going for like a sound drop.
For a drop, right?
Like sorry, man.
Is Johnny Depp still with that blonde Russian model we covered a couple shows ago?
She was kind of in and out. She floated into his life. That is a Prince MBS model that was foisted on these guys. And she's in the, so they were walking to a private jet and she was with him. Yeah. Her age has changed a few times. We think she's somewhere between 25 and 28 and he's going to be 62 in June.
Right.
Her age has changed 4 times.
2 generations away.
And she's like, she's sort of like half-assed model from Czech, and it's that was, they were definitely involved, and deny it as they might. CM Punk. Yeah. So the chart suggests, and what's her name? Rochelle Hathaway.
Yeah.
She's the in between. After Amber, she's the next. What's her name? The Russian ballerina.
Yeah.
So she's the in between age of. I finally figured out her age too. So Rochelle Hathaway is class of 2007, which makes her
me.
your age.
Yeah, I'm class of 2007.
Yep.
Yeah. So, was there any truth that you had mentioned like a lawyer that Depp was maybe?
Oh, that was that was so from you saw her. She was in the she was sitting in the pew by herself. She's like very anorexic looking.
Yeah.
And that was a rumor that never went anywhere. You're like, what is she doing here? She was like a legal consultant, and she was at the UK trial as well. And she was walking in and out, and apparently that was they just keep connecting with everybody.
Right.
And if you're marginally attractive and 20 years younger than him and in his orbit, you're dating him. I hate him single, by the way. I absolutely hate him. I just hate because I get so sick of him getting teamed with everybody. They pair him up with everybody he's around, and it gets really tedious after a while. And he's 62, and it's not cool anymore.
Yeah.
When you're this swinging bachelor at 62. Chubby, let's play a game. 7 Degrees of Chubby, says Melvin. Chelsea Clinton, Edward James Olmos, and Bob Newhart. Do you have any ties to any of them?
No, Edward James almost. I just like the movie American Me.
Oh God, I was gonna watch that the other night.
Hey, it's good. Hey, one thing from Melvin, I did have yesterday chicken cutlet hoagie, bro.
Oh, did you make it or did you buy it?
Oh, I made it, bro. I make
it.
it. Yeah, man.
You're a renaissance man. You cook. There's nothing you don't do. I'm assuming you're a great mechanic.
Gotta be these hands, man. Gotta be.
Give us your chicken cutlet regimen.
Okay. Foot long white hoagie bread.
A lot of shit got to be white.
Chicken cut. Provolone, 4 chicken cutlets, little mayo, little pesto, little lettuce.
Perfect.
Banana peppers. I don't do jalapenos. Do banana peppers, pickles, and a little vinegar. Boop, that's it.
That's great. That sounds amazing.
That's an A+. What you rattled off there, A+.
Do you make the pesto, or do you just get it?
Like, oh no, I buy it.
Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm. It's a pain in the
ass. Davyd, what kind of cook are you? Do you people cook a lot out there?
Of course, yeah. Well, I cook a lot, yeah. So.
Wow, look at you, multi-talented. That's crazy. I mean, how long have you been cooking for? Is it a new thing with you?
Kind of since COVID. Like during COVID, I wanted to be a better cook, and so I just got a bunch of different gourmet-ish recipes that I wanted to learn how to do. So
hashtag Amber's IQ is higher than ours. Exactly, G Canada. Exactly. I gotta say, and I'm not saying that people don't like chicken cutlets. It is a production, like lasagna. It's not that it is the dipping station and the mess you make. It is tough. It is an all-day thing. You're banging out the cutlets. You're slicing them. You're pounding them down. It is not easy. You have to have a full day to do it.
Yeah.
You aren't doing those after work. That's not an after work thing. That's an all-day thing.
Yes, sir. I can agree to that.
Do you do anything special frying them? Just breadcrumbs, or do you do anything else?
Yeah, I do breadcrumbs. 4C breadcrumbs, and I put mine in the air fryer.
Oh,
okay. Wow. Huh. How about you, Davyd?
I can't tell you how many times it took me making like fried chicken sandwiches to realize like cut the chicken breast in half because pounding it didn't even make it thin enough to cook.
Yeah,
in the,
you gotta slice
in the cooking oil.
Right.
Yeah, and it was like just undercooked in the middle every time. So took me a while to really master that. Yeah, it's a process.
Judy Wright goes, my late husband's 15 years older than me, and we were married 38 years before his death. I'm sorry about that, Judy.
Wow, sorry.
Robbing the cradle, Judy. Jesus, 15 years. That does not exonerate or justify Depp dating someone 30-something years younger than him now, who's younger than his daughter. You're not getting a pass on that. Sorry. And then Lily Rose living with a fucking 24-year-old at 15. You're not getting a pass on that. I'm not.
In the United States, she did that.
I know, it's always France. Oh, in France, we let 11-year-olds date 37-year-olds. It's fine. It's fine. And then to defend being friends with Roman Polanski, mind you, let's defend that. Come on, Judy, got to draw the line somewhere. It
post scandal, yeah.
Some pretty crazy rumors about Rick Rude. Oh, goddamn, he's a terrible wrestler, by the way. I
You
mean,
think
that's
so?
like, yeah, he doesn't have any moves. I have more moves than he does at 12 years old. He doesn't even look good throwing a punch, Chubby. Like he looks like awkward. Like, you know how like when Gary Delabate threw a baseball? That's how he looks punching. That's how he looks punching.
Hey, but that Rude Awakening looked stiff when he did it.
He did look.
That looked stiff, bro. It looked like it hurt for real.
DiCaprio's latest flame is about to graduate from high school, which I think is true. Tata Tutti. You should brace yourself for the breakup over the hill. He's getting ridiculous too. I'm surprised he's going to be dragged into that P. Diddy stuff. I don't know. I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for it. 7 Degrees, Crystalopolis. Sarah Palin, Liam Gallagher from Oasis, and Shuli Egar. That's really putting someone on the spot. Are you guys ready for Michael Madsen versus Depp? Are you guys ready for it?
I'm ready.
Yeah, I like that dude, man.
You like Michael Madsen?
Oh, man, I loved him ever since Alien.
Did you see Donnie Brasco?
Of course.
Okay. All right. So
of course.
Let me give you the backstory here. So the two of them seemingly, had a history, and they do Donnie Brasco together. Years go by. Michael Madsen is a bit of a loose cannon, crazy man, is saying that they do not get along, and he has several problems with Depp and goes back and forth. And I just don't, Depp has not said a coarse word about him. And when you hear what Madsen has to say, you'll probably know why, because I wouldn't bring attention. Let me just put it this way. It's like Donnie Brasco the real Donnie Brasco ordering a hit on Sonny Black is what this is going to amount to. Tendril says, Depp used to be the hottest. He's not aging well to me. I mean, if you think about it, Tendrils, all the years of smoking and drugs and drinking has got to take its toll, even with the best, Go ahead, Davyd.
I was going to, I saw a recent interview with Janine Garofalo where she said because she's like 57 now or something.
She's almost 60. I know she's born in 64.
Yeah. And she said something that I thought was really funny, which is like, I used to look a lot younger than I actually was, but that really catches up with you after about the age of 53.
Where was this interview, Davyd?
I forget. I'll try to send it to you. I forget where exactly, somewhere on YouTube. But
no, she's right. She used to look. I remember when she was like 30 something. I'm like, oh wow, I couldn't believe, because she was playing Winona Ryder's best friend and same age, and she was actually like 8 years younger than her. But she bought it. She did look really young.
Yeah.
Portland wrestling. I think there's Melvin goes, "Hi-oh, chicken cutlet update. Thank you, amazing." Melvin's jerking off. Could you imagine Melvin's getting a too chubby pickle talking about food, a foot long, I should say.
He's getting a chubby pickle of his own.
So let's just do a little history on Madsen, who's had a crazy couple. His son committed suicide.
Oh God!
Wow.
A few years ago, which doesn't get brought up. He also did a little bit of a Robert Downey where he went crazy and just ended up in somebody's house, and they had him arrested. He just broke into someone's house.
Jeez.
He also had a domestic abuse with his current. I guess he was his last wife. He shoved her into a garage and locked it.
Oh God!
And then the cops got called. And he's just really like a total fucking unhinged, unstable loose cannon. Doesn't mean he's lying, but he's a crazy dude. And you can kind of see. So this is just a little. This is from E.T. Michael Madsen on Pacino Madsen. Okay, I think this is what I want. This is just give a little biographical sketch on him, his current state.
Madsen has been arrested just 1 month after his son's suspected suicide made headlines. According to multiple reports, the 64-year-old actor was arrested Wednesday night in Malibu on suspicion of misdemeanor trespassing. The LA Sheriff's Department deputies were called to Madsen's Malibu home, which he was renting, at around 9 p.m. Wednesday night by the property's owner, who detained the actor in a...
I'm not exactly Lou Dobbs over here, but if he's in his 60s and he's renting out there, which in hindsight is probably a good move with the fires and stuff, but it leads me to believe that he's squandered a lot of his money and he's not as rich as people think. He's not,
Right.
as far as I know, and anyone can maybe weigh in on this. Do you remember Madsen doing any TV? Because I don't. I'm not looking at his IMDb, and I could easily pull it up right now. But significant TV. Do you remember him like in any starring role in any way, shape, or form of a TV series?
Not offhand, but I'm on IMDb now. Hang on, let me look it up.
And if he's a lead in a movie, it's not a big movie. He could have been bigger. I thought I heard. Again, he was offered Pulp Fiction, and that could have vaulted him into that Travolta status.
Yeah,
if he took it. Because he was in, go ahead, Deb.
No, he should have took that, man. That would have elevated him up.
I think a lot of people couldn't see what Pulp Fiction was going to be, or even though he was in Reservoir Dogs, I think a lot of people just thought, if you read it, you're just going, I can't. Some people just can't visualize where that was going. I can't remember why he turned it down. I think he did The Getaway with Alec Baldwin and Kim Basinger.
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, first of all, he has 325 credits on IMDb.
Wow, that's airdropping someone into a movie. That's like. Remember what I told you about Christopher Walken, that he had some deal. He had such a bad attention span and ADHD that he made a deal with them that he got to shoot all his scenes in the first 2 weeks of every movie, and then they pull him out. Yep.
Nice.
That's
320 roles, Davyd.
Yeah, and it's mostly like, The Big Jam and like 20. He's on like 24 for like one episode, or CSI Miami for one episode. But in terms of like a recurring role or like a lead role on TV shows, I'm back to 2008 and I'm seeing nothing. So
this is TV pretty well. This is nothing that's coming up series wise, like nothing more than one episode of something.
Not really.
It seems like he could be a lot wealthier than he is. I guarantee he must have been offered a shitload of, especially with today's class, with Netflix and Amazon and Hulu. And
I'm seeing like a 9-episode TV show in 2005 called Tilt. Young poker player. It was on ESPN, and
wow. What do you
young
think,
poker players must navigate their past along with the best players in the world. It looks like a fictional show.
Holy shit. I don't even know. Yeah, Tilt. Wow. So ESPN tried their hand at live action
dramas.
I don't even remember that. Damn.
First time hearing that.
Bizarre, right? Does anyone know this? Tilt?
It lasted for 9 episodes, so it sounds like it came and went. But it's all movies.
Okay, it's crazy. It's just so not. And again, this TV is past movies by now in terms of quality.
Yeah.
You cannot tell me that that script has been flipped. There's no way anyone could. There's so much good TV now. And
are you saying he shouldn't have chosen to be in Free Willy 2: The Adventure Home?
That's right. He brings that up all the time. So he does these paycheck things. It seems like he doesn't want to be weighed down. So even if like a Free Willy comes up, wasn't Ray Liotta in Operation Dumbo Drop?
Yes, with from
Theory.
From Glory. What's his name? Oh God, yeah, that had a couple famous people in it. That movie, yeah.
That's right, Crystalopolis. Like France is everyone's like safe spot. Like when you become all the statutory rape creeps eventually flee to France.
We welcome your deviants here in France.
Yes. Rude awakening. awakening. Orm thinks it's bad because my husband is. I don't know, Kathy. I mean, you're from Louisiana. It's a different set of rules down there. That's where the Legion of Doom, the Hall of Doom is.
Well, 4 years is not. 4 years is that's a perfectly acceptable age range.
But she was 15 though when it happened.
I see.
But Lily Rose, and that he was 24. And she was 15, living in his penthouse in the Eastern Columbia building.
Oh, that was downtown. Oh, I see. Okay.
So that was like, it's not just does he live in, he's living in his penthouse while he's there. Amber Heard tried to bring that up a few times, and they just stepped on it. They knew it was going to come, and they just trampled on it. She actually brought it up more in another testimony. I'm trying to remember where it was. She said that they had to walk through that situation to get to the other penthouse, and I'm saying that if you ask the daughter question, it's a different viewpoint. No, because that's the trajectory, Judy. It is the ridiculous age gap, which they don't seem to have a problem with. There's no justifying it, whether it's him or. I just don't. Do you want your daughter dating someone 30, Ronnie Mund, and fucking? You really want to? You can't. Stop qualifying it. It's not. It's just no civilian can qualify this.
Also, Lily Rose being 15 dating a 24-year-old is illegal in the state of California. I mean, just
everywhere, even
right. I mean, anywhere, but like where they were, it's illegal. I don't know.
And then the cops got called, and he lied to a family. What's it called? What is it? The family service.
Child Protective
Service.
Child Protective Service CPS got called, and then he lied to the cops about it.
Oh,
they questioned him about this. Somebody snitched on him. It could have been Amber. It could have been Whitney. Could have been, and then he lied to the cops about it. So you stoop into that level. It's just there's no defending it.
Oh, Species. I'm sorry. Somebody corrected
Species.
me.
That's
Thank
right.
you, PCO.
Good one, PC.
Thank you. I apologize.
I forgot he was in that. Monique's pal Sonny Black at Napolitana, right? So Roman Polanski, he's a pig. He's the worst. He is the worst. He actually raped. He raped. God, what's that broad? Really, she's like half Asian, really attractive broad. Oh God, what is her name? Damn it, she's not in a ton of stuff, and she's still talked about it a few months ago. He raped her too. I can't remember her name. I guess to Google. Silverman. I have a Jewish GPS. Oof. Okay, so here we go. Finish this.
Citizen's arrest. According to LASD, arrest records obtained by
Charlotte something or other. Charlotte. Damn it, the actress, her first name is Charlotte something or other. She got
coming to mind.
Roman Polanski raping.
Arrest records obtained by ET. Madsen was then transported to West Hills Hospital before being taken to the sheriff's Lost Hills station.
Is that by you?
Yeah, right by me. Yeah.
Look at the jet black hair.
That's an Elvis dye job right there.
It really is. It's very Elvis. You're right, Chuck.
West Hills Station, where he was issued a $500 citation and released Thursday morning. It's unclear at this time why the owner of the property Madsen had been renting called the police on the actor. But his arrest comes just 1 month after the death of his 26-year-old son Hudson, who died of a gunshot wound to the head on a suspected suicide on the Hawaiian island of Oahu. Shortly after his son's tragic passing, the Reservoir Dogs star shared the final text message he received from his son with the Los Angeles Times. A text reading simply, "I love you, Dad." Quote,
I did not know that.
That's gruesome. Jesus.
What area did it say he lived in again?
In Malibu?
He received from his son with the Los Angeles Times. The Reservoir Dogs star shared the final text message he received from his son with the Los Angeles Times. A text reading simply, "I love you, Dad." Quote, "I am in shock as my son, whom I just spoke with a few days ago, said he was happy." Hudson, the godson of Quentin Tarantino, was Madsen's eldest son with his wife, Deanna Madsen. The two also share sons Calvin and Luke. Madsen also shares sons Christian and Max with his ex-wife Janine Bisignano. Following Hudson's death,
Oh My Janine Bisignano over here.
What's that in his mouth?
I know.
Yeah, right. At the candy store at
the family released a statement to Metro stating that they are heartbroken and overwhelmed by grief and pain, adding his memory and light will be remembered by all who knew and loved him.
It's kind of underreported. You're seeing a lot of that where like kids of famous people are taking they just sort of like get lost along the way, and I don't know what he's like as a father. Weird nuclear family there.
Yeah.
I'm not. Pulp Fiction is one of those movies, G, that everybody wants to say that it gives you like a cool factor when you say like that was like a real thing you would say to sound cool. Like it was like the name, even the name of it, right? It was like people just love that. Kathy, I ain't trying to talk to some dumb kid other than that. Look at that. A. Smith says it perfect. I ain't trying to talk to some dumb kid other than my son or my peeps kid. Well said, A. Smith. So I went and I kind of cobbled together Charlotte Lewis. Thank you, Autobot. Thank you, Autobot. Of course you got it. Charlotte Lewis. She's very underrated. She's like half Asian, and Roman Polanski rop-ate her, and you got Depp defending Roman. I'll never get over this clip. This is like something almost that I'm sure Amber Heard's team was so inept, right, that they must have at least tried to get this played. This. Where's Depp? Where is he? Oh, here it is. Here we go. Ready?
I came all the way from Switzerland, which unfortunately got famous for arresting.
So this journalist from Switzerland's asking Depp about why is Roman Polanski not allowed in the United States.
What do you think about it, and do you know anything else about it?
Why now? Why now? What's going? I mean.
So what Depp's saying here is everybody should forget about this the rape that Polanski did because he did Ninth Gate with him and they're friends. That you should just let it go.
Why not? Obviously, there's something going on somewhere, and somebody had to make a deal with.
And now he's trying to float there's a conspiracy theory against Roman Polanski, why he is not allowed to do whatever he wants.
Why now? What's going? I mean, obviously, there's something going on somewhere, and somebody had to make a deal with someone for something, and maybe there's a little money involved. I don't know, but
if you got to play this in court in Fairfax, I don't know how you get out of that. How does one get out of this? Oh, it's got nothing to do with it. It's a sign of this is who you are, who you hang with, and these are who you're defending. I don't know. Oh, it's not germane to the trial. I would do everything. If I were Amber Heard's team, I would do everything in my power to play this.
He didn't even do the thing that like actors who worked with Woody Allen after 1992 did, where they would say like, I mean, I only know my experience with Woody Allen, and I can't speak to that. Like he's not.
Oh,
even
I
doing
hate that. You're so right. Oh, I hate that.
why now? He's been going there for 30 years. No, I'm not saying that to you. I'm asking the question in general. For 30 years, he's been going there. He has a place. He has a house there. You know.
Especially the way they did it.
Especially the way they
called
did it.
him to give him a lifetime achievement, and then it was in the end it was a trap to arrest him.
And also the thing is very clearly, and he's proven this. Roman Polanski is.
I'm sorry. So it's mean to trick someone into arresting them for rape, but the rape wasn't mean. Is that what
that's fine. He's a famous director from France. He directed Rosemary's Baby. He's allowed to.
They pulled a mean prank on him. That's not nice of them.
Ashton Kutcher jumped out of the bushes. Punk!
Not a predator.
Achievement, and then it was.
He's about to use the P word here.
In the end, it was a trap to arrest him.
And also the thing is very clearly, and he's proven this. Roman Polanski is not a predator. I mean.
Let's miss my guess. Raping two chicks, preying on teenagers.
Right.
Isn't that the very personification of a predator? What is the definition of you have to be in Nashville and play hockey? What's the definition of a predator? Is not the personification of it.
Right.
You're preying on teenagers.
Right.
That's the very definition of a predator.
At Jack Nicholson and Angelica Houston's house, no less.
Exactly. That's that. You see the movie Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
Mm-hmm.
They kind of go into that. And oddly enough, right, Tarantino defended Polanski as well in a worse way than Depp is doing here.
God, that clip is crazy. That clip actually of Tarantino and Howard. That clip, like,
it is. There's no walking that back. There's no walking that back.
Very clearly, and he's proven this. Roman Polanski is not a predator.
Oof.
I mean, he's 75 years old or 76. He's got 2 beautiful kids. He's got a wife that he's been with for a long, long time. He's not out in the street, doing horrible things. So I'm confused by it.
Yeah, right. It's a statute.
Now, thumbs down to the journalist not pushing back on it. You just let him prattle on, and you're enamored by his charisma and now he's not as the Hunter-esque walk and speak is not as pronounced here, but that is the worst qualification I've ever heard in my life for that. That is, I don't know, only he could get away with that and not have any pushback.
Or that it's not brought up more. I never see this clip circulated around.
It's crazy. And I don't even know. I think they did this in Switzerland, so I think he thought it just wouldn't circulate.
Yeah.
There's no way that anyone's gonna. But that's just like a full defense of thinking, oh, it's not applicable to him.
Right.
There's just nothing good about that.
By the way, Roman Polanski's 2 children are the daughter's 31, the son is 26. They're both actors.
So they're benefiting off his nepo babydom,
right?
Which is completely steeped in rape, and now they get to make a living in the Screen Actors Guild as actors, where his entire family tree should be banned from the industry and cut off.
Yeah. Or fine, be actors. You're not responsible for your father's actions from before you were born, but maybe like condemn your father publicly if I don't know.
Brendan says defending Roman Polanski is still better than being buddies with Marilyn Manson. I don't know which is worse, Brendan. That's a great question.
That's a Sophie's choice right there.
23 says the Manson murders. Police found the video of Sharon Tate getting rape'd by 2 men. Roman's voice could be heard in the background directing them. I didn't realize that.
God.
So it's even worse. It's even worse. He's directing rape's at the same time. And this
could that be true?
Is that a joke?
I believe him. I believe him. I've heard that. Depp is. You are who you hang with, right? Depp's not a stupid guy. In some ways, he is. He makes really dumb decisions, but he knows his biographical sketch, right? He knows that, and yet, this is what he just. He's no compunction about hanging with, about defending it, about this is his friend. How would you possibly maintain a friendship with this if you have any moral compass whatsoever?
Yeah, no,
it's crazy. All they had to do was play that in the Fairfax trial.
Well, the decision to let Lily Rose live with a 24-year-old at 15, that's not running interference for a famous person. That's a choice within
now you're right. Now you're taking it a step right. You're on board. You're fine. You're game with it. Your own who you claim and ironically the trial is for, and you're letting her smoke marijuana at 12.
Ugh.
He said, if you're gonna smoke, this is a quote. He said, if you're gonna smoke, I want to be there for it. And so I can regulate the marijuana and alcohol that you take in at 12.
At 12, wow.
At 12.
Do you think this is a result of the Hunter sexuality, like the Hunter S. Thompson worship, this kind of loose?
Yeah, Thompson had some really shady
stuff?
relationships. Yeah, Thompson was a kind of like did whatever you talk about, like a devil may care kind of life. Yeah.
Right.
He did whatever he wanted. A lot of that is like you're worshiping like outlaws and people who, kind of thumb their nose at anything that's legal, or that's certainly That's
But,
part of it.
like,
Brando too.
Drugs and like benders where it's just you. I mean, that's one thing, but like when your devil may care life starts affecting minors who can't give consent, Depp doesn't see the difference there.
But then he hides behind the France thing.
Right.
Like the word you used before, the word that I love so much that Phil Hartman taught me, auspices. You're
Right.
under the auspices of, oh, they do this in France.
Right.
The French do this all the time. And you could just keep going to that, right? Every time, especially in the case of Polanski. Brendan
And
says,
I don't even know what the, oh, sorry.
No, that's what Brendan says. Even the famous sometimes fall under the spell of others' fame and success.
True.
Same with Depp and Hunter S. Thompson. Well said, Brendan.
Yeah.
Well, Sarah, what are we at goal-wise? If you can update us on that with the Cash App and all the to make our mark. I don't know what it is. I don't know what we're at. You know certainly better than I would. What's the over and under on Devil May Care? So Brendan says that I'm going to say Devil May Care more than once. As far as I know, it's the first time I've said it this show, right?
It is, yeah.
But Brendan used to do a count on Monique saying parse. He was obsessed with Monique saying parse. Yeah. But Brendan's kind of a Devil May Care kind of guy, and he has always been that way. And he told Brendan, am I got this right? Let's see if I'm right. When Brendan was in college in Albany, this happens to every kid, that you get kind of encapsulated by the college life and you forget to do your work. The schoolwork is like the fifth priority when you're in college.
Right.
So this happened to Brendan, of course, who loves a lot of things. And it got to the end of the semester and he felt like he was going to fail out. And so he told, I want to say either did they have guidance counselors at Albany or one of the administrators? I'm having family problems. There's 3 people in my family on death's doorstep, and they either passed him or something, so he'd make up family illnesses to get by.
To get better grades.
I'm having personal problems. He just said some vague thing with a sad face. I'm having personal problems or family problems, and they let him. I think he made it another year or two. That school is lucky to have him on any level, by the way. Depp is no better than girls 40 years younger than him. What do you mean by that, Kathy? Depp is no better.
I think maybe she's comparing him to like I don't know who she's comparing him to.
Like the cradle robbing, like the Demi Moore, Ashton Kutcher kind of thing.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I'm not sure. She'll
they all should be embarrassed. All of them. That's a different deal. Maybe Vanessa changed the way Johnny saw things. You're all over Johnny about this. I am all over him. I'll never let it go. There's no. See, that's the problem. You want to let this go. You're giving him an out. There is no out for that. I'm not letting it go. You don't. That's the problem. Is we let that go. There's no letting that go. You need to see that flaw. That's not that is a moral compass I will never relinquish. I'm not letting it go ever.
We also don't know.
That taints him with me in a big way.
We also don't know what Vanessa tried to do to split that 15-year-old Lily Rose up with the 24-year-old. Maybe she did try.
I don't know. We never know with Vanessa. She's so mysterious. I don't know what the hell. She stays out of it as well as anybody does.
Yeah, I mean, she was not the in loco parentis supervising.
Look at you. Oh, cradle robbery. Thank you, Kat.
There you go.
Thank you, Brendan. So this is how it went, right? Brendan says, yes. I said family problems. All I said was family problems to the administrators, and that got me several incompletes instead of failures.
Nice.
And so he delayed his way. Brendan's pretty genius like that. He figures out these little loopholes. It's too bad the internet wasn't around. Brendan would have been. He would have killed it with the internet in college. Army is incredibly. I'm stubborn because I'm not advocating statutory rape, Sarah. Are you kidding me? That makes me stubborn. I'm supposed to just. I'm never caving into that. I didn't like I'm some great guy by saying that. That shouldn't. It's just the bare minimum of like moral compass. All right. So this is Michael Madsen and Depp's history. So I first stumbled on, and I'm the only one that did, by the way. No, that's a brag. He was on the Barry Katz podcast. Michael Madsen was. And he did that Rorschach thing where he name drops and you're supposed to give him a comment. And so somehow Barry Katz starts with Depp. It's so weird that he would start there. Something tells me he was setting him up to say something weird because he spoke to him before. And this is the strangest commentary. Michael Madsen, Barry Katz. Here we go.
In terms of box office and in terms of, that was the only reason that it turned out that way.
All right, 6 degrees of separation. I'm going to mention a name. You can tell me the first thing that comes to my mind. It could be one word, could be a sentence, could be a story. Johnny Depp.
The thing...
Like, right away, he goes into that fucking American Spirit laugh, that 3 packs a day smoking laugh. Right away. So immediately, I'm listening to this like in real time, and I'm like, "What the fuck?" Like the laugh, I'm like, "What?" That is a really weird reaction.
The thing is
this is 8 years ago, by the way.
He need to hock up a loogie, man.
I learned a long time ago that talking about other people is a bad idea, because sooner or later it will come back to you in ways that you don't expect. And it's really, really, really hard to be flat out honest about different people, because when you're trying to be honest, it might be taken as criticism by that other person or by people who represent him or who represent that empire. Oh, you hear what Madsen said, blah, blah, blah. And so you can't really tell the truth about how you really feel. And then again, when you say something about somebody, you run the risk that somebody out there is saying something about you. And so it's kind of this really strange, unwritten thing, I think, that I learned is, a lot of these things.
So cutting to what I know now,
I
guess that he was worried if he dished on Depp and Brasco, that Depp was going to dish on him, which you could. And he has stories, and he has stories in the back and forth. And this is so ambiguous.
Things need to be kept, to yourself. So,
Judy, yes, I know you don't advocate it, but I'm not giving him a pass. You know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to. There's no statute of limitations on this, and you need to hold Depp accountable because no one else does.
All right, I'll keep trying. Halle Berry.
And I think he's a great actor, and I'd sure love to do something with him someday. I like everything he's ever done.
Al Pacino.
Al is an enigma, and he's very...
You guys know the story behind Pacino now? It's interesting because we're going to be talking about Modi maybe a little after this. He, much like Depp with the $650 million, went broke. He got swindled, very much like the Kevin Bacon thing with Madoff and Depp's thing with his manager. Went broke and started doing cash grabs to try to recoup it. Jack and Jill, him and Depp, Pacino and Depp were both in that Adam Sandler movie. And they did a cameo in that movie. So he was just doing tons of trash that he would never ordinarily do or take.
Pacino just wrote his memoir too, so maybe that was to generate some income.
Yeah.
Very hard to get to know Al. He's, put it this way, he knows he's Al Pacino. He knows who he is. And I wouldn't want to be him or be at that level, because I think what becomes, as you start to live in a vacuum, you really literally can't go anywhere without every single person in that fucking room knowing who you are when you walk in the door. And having been around him, I know that.
Remember Donnie Brasco when he was in the Japanese restaurant scene where it's a great scene where Joe can't take his wire out because he's wearing boots and they want him to take his shoes off. And then Sonny says to him, he goes, Michael Madsen says, he goes, Donnie, take off your fucking shoes or I'm going to chop off your fucking feet.
That's right.
Sonny, what do you want me to do? You want to take orders from a fucking Jap?
But sometimes it's a really incredibly uncomfortable thing. And, well, when they asked me to do Donnie Brasco, I didn't want to read for it. And they said, well, if you don't read for it, then you ain't going to do it.
Offer only.
And I said, well, you know what? If I do read for it, I'm not going to get it. Because I'm a terrible, horrible reader. My cold reading is an abomination. If I do it,
it's a weird thing with Hollywood and auditioning. Like, you're at the pinnacle when you no longer. Everyone's goal is to not have to audition.
Right.
Have you ever heard of an actor say, "I'm a great auditioner"?
No, I never have.
They always say the same shit. I'm a horrible auditioner.
Only person I ever heard say that was Artie.
Oh, Artie said he was a good auditioner?
Yeah.
Funny.
Oh, you're right. He did say that. Good catch, Chubby.
Also, can I say something? It's interesting that when Johnny Depp's name is mentioned, he says, "I've learned that it's good to not talk about people," and then every other person he proceeds to talk about them.
Because the Depp stuff runs so disturbingly deep.
Right.
And he's worried about, now you got to remember what time this is. This is kind of when shit's hitting the fan with Depp and Amber Heard. This is when the TMZ thing comes out. And this is when really the worst years of Depp's life are probably 16, 17, and 18.
Maybe that's why he laughed. Maybe that's why he laughed so cryptically when he was asked that question.
Because a lot of personal stuff is coming out. I think he doesn't know really what Depp's star power is at this point. Could it get him in trouble? Does he have a past? Can I talk shit about him? I don't think he knows what it's at, and he's a little trepidatious about that.
Your first gig you got was from a cold read.
But I was dumb and naive back then. And once I got a little smarter, I couldn't read.
Yeah, Tendrils. Donnie Brasco, in my opinion, is the best mob movie of all time. I think it even could be better because the book, it's really, with today's day and age, it should be a miniseries on some of the streaming services. They really could cover the whole thing, but they truncated it and they changed some things. But for me, it's the best mob movie I've ever seen because it's really, it's not. It doesn't embellish it. It doesn't glorify it. It's really, really well done and well acted.
And I said, no, I can't do it. And they said, well, you're not going to get the picture. And I said, if I do read, I won't get it. So what's the difference? And I waited for like 2 weeks. And finally they were like, okay, man, would you have lunch with Mike Newell? And I said, yeah, of course. And
Mike Newell's a director, and he directed 4 weddings and a funeral before that. Pushing Tin. Remember that? There's an air traffic controller movie with John Cusack and Angelina Jolie and Billy Bob Thornton. It was terrible. It was horrible.
Lunch, he tried to make me read. Like, Mike,
he's from England too, which is a weird choice to direct a mafia movie.
Right.
And finally they were like, okay, man, would you have lunch with Mike Newell? And I said, yeah, of course. And at lunch, he tried to make me read. Like, Mike, I'm not going to do it, And he set me up. He's like, okay, so let's go over it. I was like, no, man, no. And at that point, I thought,
it is a stupid ritual, right? They have a lot of dumb rituals that you're not going to be, when you're doing the movie, you're going to be well more prepared. You can have all these people help. It's not how it's going to go. So why bother? It really is. It's stupid to put someone, it's a dumb ritual they have. They have a lot of stupid, the good thing about Hollywood burning down right now is maybe things like that will go away.
Well, it's also a way for them to see, like, can I break you right away?
Yeah. I don't believe in those head games.
No, I'm saying
because I think everyone's in a different headspace when the movies. But you're right. That is. We've heard how many stories about Lorne Michaels doing that to people.
Yeah, I was watching an interview with Jane Curtin the other day where she said the first time she met Lorne Michaels, he was just talking with her and he was like, "Are you married?" And she said, "Yes." And he was like, "Well, it won't last." He's already insulting her and like,
yes,
a crystal ball.
Hey, when is this interview taken right here? How long ago?
The Madsen we listened to?
Yeah, we listening to.
8 years ago.
Man, he sounds like Nick Nolte.
He does. He does. There's a lot of similarities with those two.
Wow.
They're character actors that a lot of people love, and the same type of role they would have. And that's a good comparison.
But then they called and asked if I would go meet Al, and I said, "Of course I will." They said, "You'll fly to New York and you'll meet him." I said, "Yeah."
My friend Mike Ravatsas used to see. He said that Pacino has an office. It's like in the upper part of Hell's Kitchen. It's like 57th Street and like 9th or 10th Avenue, and he everything with him, you have to go to him to do it. Like he's sort of like in that space where he doesn't. Everything comes to him, and I think from what I understand, Brasco wouldn't have gotten made if he didn't agree to do it.
Really?
So from what Madsen says here, he was involved in all the casting, even though he doesn't have a producer credit. Pacino had to clear the casting of everybody.
Okay.
So when someone's that big, he's actually, you don't realize this, but these A-list actors are making casting decisions on the DL, and they're not. You think they have like a casting director or really, if that 800-pound gorilla doesn't clear it, he really should get casting credit in the credits, because apparently it all had to go through Pacino before he got cleared on this movie.
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
Which I didn't know until like 2 months ago.
Absolutely will, as long as I don't have to read with them.
By the way, we have a 6-hour Donnie Brasco special watch along on our Patreon. It's about as detailed as it's ever going to get. Better than any Blu-ray they've ever done. Better than any special. I guarantee it. I'll put my name all over it.
When is this?
Never learn more about that movie than that.
When is this, R?
What's
they
that?
did it already. Yeah.
Oh, it's already on Patreon?
It's on the Patreon, yeah.
Okay, cool. Good. That'll help. Hey, that's beautiful. That'll help me when I get out to California.
Yes.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
California, please.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know, don't set me up, because I ain't going to do it. If I go in the room and he has pages, it's over. And they said, no, he just wants to meet you. Obviously, he had casting approval or some kind of casting approval. I mean, he's up.
So Madsen says Pacino has all casting approval in the entire movie. It makes total sense. I didn't even, that's...
Pacino. I'm sure he wanted to know who's going to be Sonny Black. And never having met me, I don't blame him. You know, I don't blame him for wanting to do that. I understood what that was.
It's hard to believe those two had been around for that long and just never crossed paths or never. I mean, like you said, Davyd just said, Madsen is in 320 movies. You just said yeah. So they never met. It's just bizarre.
So I met him, but meeting him is like meeting the president. I mean, he has a little earpiece in his ear,
wow, he's got an earpiece. Yes, PC23 says the Japanese scene in real life, they just left. You can't, right, if you're an undercover FBI agent, you're not fucking taking a Japanese maitre d' into the bathroom and kicking the shit out of him with your mob buddies. But that's how they did it. And the scene goes, he has the wire in his boot. And he gets back to his apartment on the Upper East Side. He's sitting down listening to the tape, and it's him, involved in it. That didn't, that's where you Hollywoodicize the scene. That did not happen. He's right.
I mean, his security people, they all got the little thing. And, Mr. Madsen, approaching, And you go down this hallway, and then down another hallway, and another hallway, and finally he's in there, and there's a door. You're like, what? Is he? He's in there. Yeah, we're outside. Michael's here. I'm like, wow, man. Wow, it was like this big thing. I go, okay. So I go in, and there he is. And he was looking out a window with his back to me. And I went in the room, and I didn't know what to do. I felt very awkward. I'm looking around, and, the guys are in the hallway, and they're staring at me from the hallway, And so I closed.
Yes, Sky Spectre. Chubby, if anyone knows how to do it, it's him. He's got it all mapped out.
Baby.
Yeah, he's just not intimidated at all by this. He's gonna help the fire efforts in Southern California from Atlanta.
Yeah, I'm already booked for 5 lows.
Wow,
amazing.
Closed the door, and I kept expecting Al to turn around, but he still hadn't turned around. And there was a big bookcase behind me, and so I took a book out, and I, like a fool, and I'm sitting there pretending to read the book, and all of a sudden I hear that, you like that book?
That's a good scene on the street when he goes, Donnie, a wise guy doesn't carry his money in a wallet. He carries his money in a roll. Dress like I dress.
And I was like, oh man, it's him, he's talking to me, And I realized he could see my reflection in the window. Well, even though he was looking out, he knew what I was doing. You like that book? And I'm like, I don't even know what book it is, man. And I put it down. And so he turns around and he goes, you like the script? And I go, yeah, I like the script. And he goes, well, what would you change about it? And I go, how come Sonny doesn't have the birds? Because Sonny Black used to keep pigeons on his roof. And it's in the...
Yeah, if you read the book and then you see the movie, you're like, why didn't you do this?
Right.
There's a character in the book named Tony Mira, and he's literally in like 75% of the book. He's as germane to the story as Lefty, Sonny, anybody. And he's not in the movie at all. I don't understand how they didn't... And he's a psychotic mafia sociopath. And he would be great. I don't know why they didn't use him. It's so weird.
In the novel, Donnie Brasco, and it's not in the screenplay. And he goes, what, do we want the birds? And I go, yeah. And he goes, no, you can't have the birds. No, you can't have the birds, Sonny, no.
Yeah, G. Canner's right. Actors do not take responsibility for squandering their money. It's always the manager's fault, right? It's always...
Right.
They can never take account. Oh, I'm an artist. I'm not a financier.
They screwed me on the back end. I didn't get points on the back. Right. Yeah.
And I said, well, why not? And he goes, because people will have sympathy for you if you have the birds, and nobody can have sympathy for Sonny Black, no. Yeah, I sort of get that. You have those damn birds, everyone will care for you. And I was like, yeah, I guess so. And that's why I wanted them, right? That's why I wanted the birds, because I wanted to have...
That's a weird... You don't think of Pacino having this massive ego, but that's a weird, look into, like he's worried about Sonny Black having a shred of empathy or sympathy from the audience just because he has birds. Who gives a shit? It's going to take away...
That makes the character more complex,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you still... I mean... He's likable at times, even without it. It's not like your charisma is going to shine through. From what I understand, in the real relationship with Donnie and Sonny is like he confided in Sonny all the time. Like Sonny Black was Donnie's like escape from the mob because Sonny was willing to talk about non-mob things all the time.
Right.
So that wasn't even shown in the. It's a weird egomaniacal script. So Pacino's like reworking the script. And he has the guy, Paul Attanasio, actually was nominated for an Academy Award for adapted screenplay for this. This is the only award this movie got. Pacino should have been nominated without question.
Yeah. Sorry. Pacino's probably at like this living legend status, where he's still like people worship The Godfather and Dog Day Afternoon and Serpico and everything.
Oh yeah, this is the peak of him, kind of like the peak of his powers, Heat and everything like that. It was just this is very few pieces of shit under his belt.
Right. So he probably maybe this was the apex of that ego too, that he's being this exacting and finicky about the choices,
Yep. And then I was like, oh well, you don't want to, God, how original Al Pacino in a mafia movie. But this, you couldn't drill home enough that this Lefty character was a lot different than anything he had played before. He was basically like the Willie Loman of the mafia.
Right.
Just always getting passed over, and like there's a bit of a death of a salesman thing in this with the Lefty character. They probably did embellish it, and they changed some things. But like I said, that Tony Mira guy in the book is way more interesting relationship than he got into a fight with Donnie at one point. They got into a fist fight, and
feet, put little things on there.
Go ahead, W.
No, sorry. I mean, maybe Pacino thought like the critics or audience thought he's just playing Michael Corleone again, and
a lot of the humanoids would say that. Christopoulos has a good point here. That bird thing is really done to death. Like whether it's on the waterfront or Rocky, or they do beat that. He's right. That is a cliche trope.
Birdman of Alcatraz.
Yeah.
Feeding them all here, man. That way, when I slaughter someone, it wouldn't be so bad. He's not that bad. He loves those birds, But he goes, oh, I know why you want the birds. And he goes, I'll get the birds. And I go, oh, you're getting the birds, huh? He goes, oh, I'm just kidding. It's like, oh, you're just going to take them from me, huh? You're going to switch that around in this story. Suddenly you have birds.
Barry Katz over laughing at everything.
Yeah.
Michael
That's
Madsen says. I've heard of Mira in my mafia research as Pell Ellis, where he's a loose cannon, to put it like. Yeah, he was just. I don't know why you wouldn't want to write a character like that on screen. I can't believe they left him out. This guy. I'm sure if I dig harder, I'll figure out. The real Joe Pistone will say why they left him out.
Could Amber Heard have played Mira?
So cut to, he shows up at okay, so he's on some obscure podcast, and I caught this is about 2-3 months ago. I caught this, and he tells a story about the premiere of Donnie Brasco in LA, where Depp flips out on him and the premiere. That, and I listen to this.
I want to read for Donnie Brasco because I'm a terrible cold reader.
So I'm the same. I can't believe
I don't know what it is, but I can't.
I'm a reader and I'm a music listener.
Are those hair
I
plugs?
don't like to be put in a
Are those,
What's that, Chubby?
Are those garbage man hair plugs?
Where's Chauncey when you need him?
do something.
King of all.
You know, I got mad. I said, "Listen, you guys know I can do this, and so what's the point of making me read for it? Because then I'm not going to be good.
You're second guessing.
I'm not going to get the part. So if I read for Donnie Brasco, I'm not going to get cast in the movie. So I'm not going to read." And they passed me by, and they weren't going to do it.
Right.
And they got another actor. And
Wait a minute. That's I out of sequence. I got to put something else. It looks just like it the way that's framed. It's another interview. It's more obscure.
I was expecting his voice to be different too.
Wait a minute here. 1 second. Stephen Baldwin 1. Did I just fuck? Hold on a second. Madsen, Baldwin, Depp 1. Press conference. Kill Bill. Madsen on screen. Okay, I think this is it.
there was a very early screening of
This is it.
Donnie Brasco over at Universal or Mandalay, and Johnny Depp was there. And they showed him the movie. And at the end of the movie, he stood up and he said, "This picture is about Michael Madsen. This movie is about Sonny Black." He goes, "If you guys want me to do press for you, if you want me to help promote the movie, you better recut it." And he walked out. It's a true story, man.
Wow.
So I'm still in there, and what's there is great, but there's a couple of scenes that were cut that I thought was pretty good. But I had fun with Al Pacino, and Johnny. I mean, you know, we had a good. It was in New York and in Miami, and it was a great time, man. It was a great picture. It was a good script, and I love the hell out of it. And whatever's left in there I'm fine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still in the story. I'm in there.
You're a major pivotal. You played a pivotal part in that movie.
Well, of course, man.
Now, that doesn't sound the Depp we know who can't watch himself on screen, and he doesn't want to. He's self-deprecating, and he really could care less about. That's a weird ass exchange.
Yeah,
and I can try to, if he's not lying, I can try to explain the. Well, let's listen.
Johnny Depp was there, and they showed him the movie. And at the end of the movie, he stood up and he said, "This picture is about Michael Madsen. This movie is about Sonny Black." He goes, "If you guys want me to do press for you, if you want me to help promote the movie, you better recut it." And he walked out. It's a true story, man. So I'm still in there, and what's there is great, but there's a couple of scenes that were cut.
If I were to make excuses for Depp, and I had to hear it from him, and this is a big stretch. If the real Joe Pistone, who took all the risk, Donnie Brasco, who wrote the book, he thinks he's getting slighted if he's not represented on screen the entire time, because it's his life, it's his world, it's his book. Yeah. So if it bears any semblance of a Sonny Black story, he's disrespecting the real Joe Pistone.
Right. Are there?
I don't know. That's my only stab at why he would say that. Unless it's utter vanity. Unless he's way more narcissistic and vain than we realize.
Are there any deleted scenes that you can point to where Michael Madsen's in the movie more, like that were on the DVD
there's
release?
a director's cut.
Okay.
And there's a really, one of the stills I brought up in the tweet I just made is they have a scene where Al Pacino is busting Sonny's ball. Lefty's busting Sonny's balls, and they're in Florida.
Yeah.
And they're hanging out. They're just breaking balls, and Sonny's not liking it. So Sonny's really irritated, and he walks into this kind of lobby, and Donnie's with him in the lobby, and he takes so Depp and Madsen have a major scene that's cut. In the director's cut, it's put back in, and he's not talking about the director's cut, and so Sonny starts threatening Donnie in this scene. What's going on? What are you two up to? And it's a really good scene. It's cut, and I think he's talking about that.
Okay.
Can you buy that?
Do I have? Yeah, I have it. I'll give it to you. I have it. It's a director's cut. It's been out for a while. It's been out for well over 10 years.
Wow,
They add about a half hour to it. Most of it's good. There's one scene that's kind of dopey where they have an argument over the air conditioning in the hotel. It's sort of stupid. But most of it, you're just like, oh yeah, why'd you cut that? I bet you there's more where that came from.
Yeah.
Wow.
Michael Madsen's in his Jan Michael Vincent era in that interview.
Yeah, right.
Looking crazy.
Let's say hi to Black Morticia Adams. Welcome.
Oh,
there she is. Yeah, Madsen does kind of do the same thing. He gets, like a Christopher Walken, he gets away with that same kind of thing. Yeah, they maybe has one variation of that, very little nuance. And that Madsen, you're looking for Michael Madsen. You kind of want him doing that one thing. She's absolutely right. He looks like Keith Richards there. He does. Madsen has got 6 inches on his mouth and is having conversations. All right, so it gets worse. And I think because when I saw this, I was like, okay, that's kind of all right. That's enough. He goes on this Stephen Baldwin podcast, and he might be the most irritating human being on the face of the earth. I mean, you think Alex annoying, you think Billy, this guy, I mean, he's this Christian kook and with skateboards, and he doesn't act anymore. And so this is Michael Madsen on Stephen Baldwin's podcast, and he goes much further with this story on Depp. And I didn't know this until this aired. So here we go.
He was in Donnie Brasco as well.
Oh, that's not it. Oh, you know what? Let me play this because this is the tease to it. So he does this. What's this guy's name again? He's like a Iranian con man. Yeah, he's an Amway pyramid scheme con man. What's his name again?
I won't tell you what he said about Donnie Brasco.
What did he say? What did he say? No one's watching. It's just you. It's just me, you, and Rob. I mean, stop. This is like
in 3 seconds, you want to punch Stephen Baldwin in the face.
Was the actor that was in it?
Pacino?
Who else?
Johnny Depp.
Right. So remember what I said about Leo? Oh, forget about it, Pat. You know what I'm saying, kid?
You put Johnny in the same category as Leo?
I did nothing.
Stop.
Do you know who Bo Dietl is? He's a very famous former New York detective and turned private investigator. Stephen Baldwin actually played him in a movie. And Bo Dietl is the guy who on Real Housewives of New Jersey, Teresa's husband, that's his investigator.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Hey, Arm.
I think it's called One Tough Cop is the name of the movie.
Hey, Arm.
Yeah.
You know, the only thing would have made this guy sitting right here that we're looking at now would have been a better interview if you was on the other side. Remember when you got in his ass on Howard?
Yeah, you remember that? Yeah. I was gonna bring that on here. I wanted Brendan to go. There's no situation where I can't crowbar that.
Yeah, that would have been awesome.
You said,
I'm gonna do that next
what
time.
What did Madsen say?
Yeah.
Madsen was in the movie with
Johnny and Pacino.
Right. So if Madsen worked with Johnny, Maybe he.
Okay, this guy's name is I remember now. Patrick. Somehow he is a middle name, right? And it's
like Patrick but David.
Yeah. What is that? BET. What is that? Black Entertainment. We know it's not Black Entertainment Television.
Is it
what
two
is that?
T's in the name?
No, it's just BET, but it's not. Like you thought it was like an acronym, but it's not. I don't.
I don't.
I don't want to know. Stupid
also, can I say, Baldwin's doing the thing where he's talking at you like, you get my conspiracy theory. Like he's giving you no information, and you just have to pretend like, oh, I see what you're saying by touching your nose there, like,
which makes him even more annoying.
Right.
Thinks Johnny ain't all, a bag of chips like everybody thinks he is.
Man, that's tough to believe because Johnny is freaking.
I'm stumping Patrick Bet David on his own pod. This is fat.
As a fan. As a fan. By the way, I interviewed the real life Donnie Brasco, Joe Pistone. I was the first guy that interviewed him, got like 10, 15 million views.
Yeah, he's this guy, Patrick David's like kind of like an example of almost toxic masculinity. What they say now, it's a bit of a cliche, but he really does. He's obsessed with like all things tough guy, like the mob. He's like way too into the, he needs to interview every famous mafioso, almost like a groupie, almost like a mafioso, a tough guy groupie, it's like almost annoying.
Yeah. And we sat there talking about Sonny Black and all this. Donnie Brasco's a phenomenal movie. The Lefty, how they caught him, did all that stuff. But that's interesting.
You love my movie One Tough Cop, where I played Bo Dietl. True story. Produced by one of the greatest legendary producers of all time.
So this fucking toolbox, this Nepo baby toolbox is comparing One Tough Cop to Donnie Brasco. He's such a tool. Okay, so this is the follow-up to that. So that's what he's teasing there. And so this is Madsen right here.
That was a plug. I couldn't tell.
Yeah, he was like, and I think he went on there to tease that, like deliberately. And this is so here we go.
All right.
Yeah, very subtle, right, Davyd?
Yeah, right.
Right.
Read for Donnie Brasco, and they weren't going to do it. Right. And they got another actor, and they tried to trick me a couple times.
I would love to know who the other actor was. He didn't say who it was. He must know.
Yeah. Nick Nolte.
Into reading for it, but I didn't do it. And then,
Crystalopolis says that BET thing's like some Israeli name. Maybe it's like an Amway code or something, right? Pyramid scheme.
PBD podcast.
Yes. Yes.
This is initial.
No, the middle name is BET, and apparently it's like some Israeli name of some kind. Or
they said, "Okay, how do you feel about meeting Al?"
I think he got rich from pyramid schemes, right? No Saudi pun intended.
Oh. Right. And I said, "Oh, well,
PBD to OBM,
he must have casting approval."
OBM in the back.
And they go, "Well, yes and no." And I go, "No, yes, he obviously does." He said, "Well, would you meet him?" And I go, "Well, yeah, of course I'll meet him. Who the doesn't want to meet Al Pacino?" I said, "Yeah, I'll meet him. I'll meet him." Yeah. And they said, "Well, we got to fly you to New York." And I'm like, "Oh, for Christ's sake!" So I go over and I open the door and say, "Okay, man." And I walk in, and it's a little room like this, and there's Al with his back to me, and he's looking out the window. All right, and there's bookcases behind me and a desk. And I'm like, "Wow, okay." And he doesn't say anything. So now I'm looking around for something to do. And I took this book out from a bookshelf that was behind me, and I started looking at the book. And all of a sudden I hear, "I like that book." And I look over, and I realize he can see my reflection in the window that he's got his back to me.
Right.
And he can see me with the goddamn thing. "You like that book?" I'm like, I go, "No, I don't even know what book it is, okay?" And he goes, oh. And now he turns around, and he goes, "You like the script?" And I go, "Yeah, I like the script." "You should read the book." I go, "Yeah, I read the book. It's better than that book." I go, "Yeah."
Did he say that?
Yeah, he did. And he goes, "Anything about a script you don't like?" And I said, "Yeah, there's one thing. In the book,
right, G-Can, a Ponzi scheme, right? That's I couldn't think of that. That's exactly right.
Sonny Black has birds.
What's that, guys?
So I love the bobblehead of Elvira, Mistress of the Night, behind.
Oh, good catch! I didn't even see that.
Yeah. But you know what though, Arm? I believe what he's saying because when I met Pacino, he was the same way. Like he's looking all around, like you like this and what is that, and tell me what's inside here and what are you doing here? And
people forget you told us the story that was in Vegas, right? In your truck.
Yeah, man, he took a piss.
That's what that reminded me of when you told that story. As I was thinking about this,
and I was just looking at that picture. I was like, man, he had that same cheesy smile when I took a picture with him.
Wow. Yeah, I believe it too. I believe every word he's saying, and I certainly believe you.
He keeps pigeons on the roof, like Terry in the waterfront. Right. He's got the birds on the roof. He goes, oh, ha, ha. You don't get the birds.
Yeah, Brendan, that's a good call by you. Bo Dietl was an Imus semi-regular. That's a good call by you.
Oh, really?
Yep. I don't know if he had a feud with Howard at one point, because a lot of guys that did Imus would take up the fight, and they would. I bet you he would dish on Howard to Imus, because as a private investigator, you could obviously get dirt on people.
Man, can you only imagine?
I guarantee he did. I guarantee it.
Like, what do you mean? He goes, I get the birds. I get the birds for me. And I go, okay, all right. And he goes, you got a problem with that? And I go, no, Al, I don't have a problem with that. Okay, you can have the birds. He goes, I get them. I go, okay. It was like a thing, like he wanted to know.
But I love it.
And I said, okay, great. So I'm standing there.
Noah de facto goes, it's called a Fonzie scheme if Henry Winkler does it. The Fonzie scheme, Noah, is you are an auto shop teacher at Jefferson High School. You half own Arnold's, and what was his third job? He had 3 gigs going on, and he owned the garage at the same time, while dropping out of high school. And you could be an auto shop teacher at Jefferson High School, but you actually dropped out. That's only Fonzie could pull that off.
Right. The Fonzie scheme is build a pyramid out of sharks that you have to jet ski over at some point.
And still need to live over the Cunningham's house in a attic apartment.
Probably for free.
For free. While you co-own Arnold's and you own a garage and you're teaching at Jefferson High School auto shop.
And it was like a good 10 seconds, man. Just nothing, right? And I'm thinking, okay. And I go, well, is that it? He goes, oh, is that it?
The thing that Happy Days is interesting because they're in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and everyone has a New York accent.
Laverne and Shirley, yeah.
Right? The entire
Marshall
cast
has
has a New York accent.
And yeah.
You couldn't.
I go, yeah, is that it? He goes, I don't know. I said, you don't know? He goes, so awkward. It was so awkward. I go, yeah, I guess that's it. And he didn't even answer me. And he turns around again. He's looking out the window.
Do you think he was in character?
I don't know.
He might have been in.
He's a weird cat, right? Right, Chubby? Just his mannerisms. Just he doesn't know how to have regular interactions with people. He's fidgety and.
You know who Madsen looks like?
Give it to me.
Go with me on this for a second. Think about it. Corey Feldman. Look at him right there. Look at the face.
Facial structure. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
That's interesting. Yep.
Wow.
I gotta go back to L.A. And the phone rang as my manager, and he said, "Oh, you're doing Donnie Brasco," just like that. And I never would have got it if I had read for it. I probably would never have even met Al if I had read for it.
Right? There's no way you would have.
That's the way it happened.
You just went and had a conversation.
But it was about 7 minutes. Yeah. That's all it was.
I think he was in character, and wait a second. But I think listen to the first word. You like the book? Like he
like
been like in character.
You like that book? Yeah, I know. It was very lefty. It was very leftyist. It was very, very, very much the way he did that.
And because you, in my sense of the story, because you stayed you. You stayed you. You know what I mean? You.
It's weird that he's not at that level at that point where he even has to go through all that shit because he was a pretty big star going into. I certainly knew exactly who he was before Brasco came out, and I remember reading the cast that they'd signed. I'm like, oh wow, that's a great cast, and I would have thought he was way past that point. I've had head games played on him and shit. It's a weird thing in Hollywood. Those who don't have to audition and those that do. I'd love to hear the list
Yeah, Stephen Baldwin is the expert of people being in character. Clearly,
Yeah.
Jesus.
Just did you do like? What do you want to do? Like,
It was
I'm
him.
here.
I
They
mean,
said come here. You know
it's
what I mean?
Al Pacino. I mean, what am I going to do? You know, I mean, you like that book? Yeah. What book? I don't know what book it is. I just took it off the thing. You know, I mean, I didn't know what to talk about. The birds, man. You know, I get the birds.
But that's the next observation.
And you watch the movie, and there's no birds in the movie. They never even gave it to him. It's not even in the film.
But that's my point of why I'm wondering, was he
Nobody had him.
Because you were saying something like maybe if he's
a lot of people did this. Some people in here who do know the book and the movie, they flipped a lot of stuff up in the movie. When Lefty goes, he gets out and he takes his wallet and he says goodbye to Annette. What happens in real life is he gets picked up by the FBI and brought to and he dies in prison. Yeah. What happens to Sonny is Sonny actually gets killed. They make it like Lefty's getting killed. Sonny actually gets thrown in the East River, and Sonny gets killed as letting Donnie into their world. So Sonny is the one who actually dies in real life. If you watch the movie, you don't know that. They switched the two of them.
Yeah, you think Lefty got killed, yeah.
Yeah, you think Lefty got killed because they fades to black and it shows Donnie at the firing range at the FBI with the target comes at him. And so you think, obviously that's a metaphor for, Lefty obviously got shot. And no, he lived and he died from cancer in jail.
Wow.
The FBI picked him up on the way to get killed. So Lefty was on the way to get killed and the FBI intercepted him and they brought him to prison.
Lucky break.
Yep.
He's listening to you in that room and he thinks you're the character, he's going to go, I get the birds. You know what I'm saying?
No, sure. No, I get that, yeah. He was wonderful when we worked on the picture. I mean, I probably never had a 5-minute conversation with Johnny Depp.
Right.
Johnny's like, he's not even in the same room with you.
Okay, can I say something?
Wow. That's bizarre. Now, again, if I'm making excuses for him to Depp, he's so enamored by Pacino that he's just hanging around with him the whole time, or they have this. I've seen footage of them. It seems like they were pretty chummy, and this might be hindsight 2020. There was a rumor that ended up being true that Depp got taken to the hospital on the set of this movie from quote unquote exhaustion, which is an actor's excuse, right? When you're
that's the Emily Stern,
yes,
whatever ball experience. Yeah,
that was like a National Enquirer kind of story at the time, and that he got taken exhaustion. That's an actor's excuse, right? When it's like some kind of overdose or.
But Al, man, he was every day. Al even showed up and was off camera for me.
Beautiful.
On days when he wasn't even shooting.
That's wonderful.
He'd come in with a cup of coffee. Where's Madsen? I'm like, I'm over here. He'd say, I'll be here. I'll be over here. And I'd say, okay.
That's brilliant.
I wouldn't have to look at a light stand. It was him,
Right.
I don't know.
Now, one of the weirdest things they had to do for this movie is they had to do research. And they somehow, and I don't know how they hooked them up and who the connection was. I guess there's like a Hollywood kind of middleman that knows the mafia. They hung around social clubs in Brooklyn to get a feel for these guys and who knew the scene. The real Donnie Brasco somehow is the consultant on this movie. He couldn't possibly be around these guys. And then they're reenacting really one of the worst chapters in the history of the mafia, the guy who really killed them, who cut them off at, took their legs out. And arrests are still happening to this day.
That's great respect.
So Sarah says there's a final push now. Cash App, Venmo, Super Chats, anyone that can contribute. That QR code is in the top right. We would appreciate it just to keep the pirate ship going. And
Vinny, it's Mark.
That was Vinny. What is that? Vinny, it's Mark. Is that here anymore? Oh, here it is. Vinny, it's Mark. Dearest viewers, a new month and a new show. If able, please donate to the Arm Fund, which is how your host gets paid. Super Chat, Venmo, Cash App, or memberships. It all counts. We'll all go. Now put your face in the buttermilk and take a sip. Oh, I love the knee. Well, Davyd, for your birthday too, I was going to sing Mark Harris, and
Well, you made me 2 years ago. You made me a Mark Harris birthday video.
Yes.
Which I was expecting to see, but I mean,
I thought it was more apropos with Stephen Bishop because we were just talking about.
We were just talking, yeah, totally.
No, we can edit this, as you know.
Yeah, well,
So I mean, can I talk about Johnny Depp?
I don't get it. I mean, Edward Scissorhands I couldn't do that.
So it starts taking weird shots at him. He actually disparages the entire performance in Brasco. It's the strangest thing. Now, both of them are not really. You're not. Depp's star power at this point is in a strange place, right? Because you're kind of going. He had the Amber Heard stuff is so massive. It doesn't seem like he's had a couple of. He had like 6 bombs in a row. So is his star power gonna have the same cachet as it used to? Can we dish on him? Is there some danger in not working in the industry again? Certainly Stephen Baldwin won't. That ship sailed.
Yeah.
You know, like the Black Pearl.
Maybe I could. I'd be an interesting Edward Scissorhands. I'd be really good. Probably.
Yes, you would.
You know, I would have made a great Batman, but it just wasn't meant to happen. Right. But when you take Johnny and you put him in Donnie Brasco, it just didn't work for me.
Right, but how is
There's no way that guy would have been let in to the family.
As an actor,
they would have bumped him off.
As an actor, with your process.
Well, that's a stupid comment because the real Joe Pistone did pull it off for 6 years. Right. And you have to have some kind of charisma that you trust the person. Yep. The role of Donnie Brasco in the movie is not supposed to be this grandstanding hot dog thing. It's a really subtle thing where he's trying not to be found out. It's not The Godfather. It's how he probably acted. And the real Donnie Brasco was on there as a consultant. So if he thinks it's good, it's got to be good. Unless he's just kowtowing to big stuff and he doesn't have the thing in it, the nards to tell him it sucks. But if he's saying it's good, that's the only one thing that counts.
Yeah, it seems like he's kissing up to Pacino, but kicking down to Depp. You know, he's sort of like in between these two actors generationally. And maybe just feels like that's the order of things, you know.
I think he's 66 now.
Okay.
So
he's not that much older than Depp.
You're right. He's like the in-between of them in a way. And so as this goes on, you'll find out why he says all that.
Does it? And I know the answer already, but how is it when it hits you that like, oh, I'm in a movie, we just did a table read, I have scenes with that person, and they're not very good. Not Johnny. I just mean.
No, it's happened to me before. It's happened a lot of times.
You know, it's kind of funny. Alec Baldwin is obsessed with Depp in a good way. Like he memorizes scenes from movies. He was on fucking Ellen, and she was giving him trivia of scenes from Depp's movies, and he was giving her lines and shit from like encyclopedic. Not like me. He's next level. But he's new for an actor. It was crazy. So he's like a Depp super fan.
Were they in anything together?
No.
Okay.
I would like to see. I remember watching a Charlie Rose interview with Alec Baldwin, and out of nowhere, he just goes, he goes, I don't know. I did a Streetcar Named Desire, and I look at an actor and What's Eating Gilbert Grape, like a Johnny Depp who has the look of a young man, but the wisdom of an old man and the sheen. And I'm like, what the fuck? He just came out of nowhere. I'm like, I couldn't believe such an odd turn compliment in the middle of that. Right. Did not see that coming.
It's tough, but you got to ask yourself, look at how lucky am I to be in this?
Right.
I'm in it, and I'm lucky to be in it, and that guy's going to be that. Okay, then I have to make it work somehow.
Right.
You know, if this doesn't work for me, but I'm not the one who's putting up the money for this. I didn't write it. You know, I'm not directing it. I just have to be this other guy. and you have to deal with it.
Yeah.
Steven, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, you just have to do
now I'm going there. So with Depp, was there any moments with Depp where you were performing opposite him and you went, oh, this guy's terrible?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was trying to sugarcoat that a little bit, but there really no
wasn't terrible. It was just boring. It was like
Yeah,
lifeless.
I can't believe you're saying that.
Now he says boring. It's an interesting choice of words, but that's really what the character calls for. He's supposed to be like a blank slate. He's listening and
Unobtrusive.
observing more. It's not. I don't know how much you could sensationalize the way the real Joe. If you listen to the real Joe Pistone talk, I mean, Depp does a pretty good job sounding like him, but it is a cadence of like, it's not going to dazzle you dialogue wise.
Right.
And that's kind of what he's supposed to do. It is a pretty flat, but that's what it called for.
There was a lifelessness to it that I couldn't comprehend. It made no sense to me. You know, I'd see Bruno Kirby pouring Johnny's Cheerios.
What?
You know, in his trailer.
Yeah.
There's Bruno pouring Cheerios for Johnny.
Why was he doing it? Some method thing?
No, they were just hanging out, I guess. But it was the
What a weird dynamic. It's amazing this shit just comes out now. Bruno
Right.
Kirby, rest in peace, by the way. He passed away. He plays Nicky in the movie. He's excellent in the movie.
He sounds like he wanted that lead role. That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah, there's a little jealousy.
Yeah, it's a lot, man. Talking about the guy pouring Cheerios in his bowl and all that, man.
Yeah, it's a weird bitterness, but you'll find out why he. Now, if that's real, let's say this is all true. What he says, what's coming is way crazy, and you'll see why he's going down this road. It's crazy.
something happened to me and Johnny in the Viper room. As a matter of fact, I'd like to tell the truth of the story if I could. But I went to see after Donnie Brasco. I went to the Viper room one night, and Al Pacino was there actually, and there was some band playing or something. But I knew Johnny owned the Viper room, right? And so whatever, he's there, and we were never.
Let's try to ballpark this year, right? Brasco came out in '97. The Viper room closes not closes. He's not owner of it anymore after '04. So this has got to be somewhere between like the late '90s and 2004. Let's say it's like fucking 2002, something like that.
The night they're filming Night at the Roxbury scenes with Richard Grieco, and they don't get the Viper room in the
That would
shot.
be great. That would be great.
So whatever, he's there, and we were never friendly to each other on the movie.
Well, you're intimidating, Mike.
Well, something weird. There's a whole other thing happened that I could tell about, but the bad guys, the real guys, set me and Johnny up one time. They did a really mean thing to Johnny, and
So they're researching the actual mafioso, and at the time, the mob was still around. Their ranks were thinned out, but Cherokee Parks had been. He had just been grandfathered in. I think he was a made man by that point, and Cherokee Parks was on this set as a consultant. And I want to say Eric Montross was there too, and so they're playing prank, and the mafia is still holding a grudge against the real Joe Pistone, who's considered to be the ultimate rat, right? They love saying rat. Well, he's like the creme de la creme of.
they put a big rubber rat in a room that had a battery in it that made it move in a big rat trap.
Right.
And they made me push Johnny in the room.
Right.
And they closed the door and locked him in there.
Right.
With the rat. And when he came out, he was white-faced. And they said, that's because you're a rat. In the movie, you play a rat. You see it. But it was all in good humor.
Right.
They weren't going to beat us up or kill us, but they were letting us know you're playing us, guys.
This is
so be real about it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But after that day, Johnny didn't want to have anything to do with me because he thought I had befriended them in the rat trick thing.
Oh, weird.
But anyway,
So just to recap that really quick. So that they're researching, they're hanging out with the actual mafia in Brooklyn. Depp was with Madsen, and they play. The mafia is known for having these like elaborate pranks like this. They get a mechanical like rubber rat, and it looks like a real rat. You think it's a terrifying looking big rat.
Right.
Madsen's lurking outside Depp. There's a closet. Madsen shoves Depp into the closet at the request of the mafia, locks the closet with the fake rat Depp thinks is a real rat in the closet.
Right.
The metaphor being Joe Pistone is the biggest rat in the history of the mafia. let's scare the shit out of this Hollywood actor and tell him what it's really like in our midst. Depp doesn't think it's so, who likes to play jokes himself, doesn't think this is so funny. And it would be terrifying to be, you're scared as it is.
That's a scary prank.
And he gets thrown and he comes out and he's right. He's not seeing the humor in this at all. And so Depp can carry grudges in a big way. And he's holding on to this shit. And Madsen knows it. And there's almost no, now, do you forgive, is Depp warranted to hold a grudge against him? Possibly. I mean, you could easily apologize for that. I don't know why he doesn't. They say he doesn't hang out. They're hanging out right now. It's a weird story. It's crazy.
It's strange, yeah.
The Viper Room.
Let me go back.
The thing happened that I could tell about, but the bad guys, the real guys, set me and Johnny up one time. They did a really mean.
Welcome, Joni. Good to see you. We're kind of wrapping up soon,
Joni.
Joni, but it's good to have you. You could, rewind, and we talked about Jack Depp bartending in Paris and the story. It's good to see you, though, Joni. High school with kittens. High school hijinks with killers. Yes, Bill, that's right. That's exactly what that is. Joe Pistone, real done, was supposed to melt. Yes, supposed to melt into back. Crystalopolis into the background. That's his undercover job, and he's obviously did it very well. That's exactly right, Chris. That's exactly right.
Thing to Johnny, and they put a big rubber rat in a room that had a battery in it that made it move in a big rat trap.
Right.
And they made me push Johnny in the room.
Right.
And they closed the door and locked him in there.
Right.
With the rat. And when he came out, he was white-faced. And they said, that's because you're a rat. In the movie, you play a rat. You see it. But it was all in good humor.
Right.
They weren't going to beat us up or kill.
But it's the weirdest thing that the production company allowed this interactions. It's, you kind of put them right there. Legit, they're killers. They are. You can glorify it any way. Yeah. And I'm surprised his agent allowed it, Tracy Jacobs. I'm surprised, and the director's there, and they don't know. They're trying to get the authenticity. The real Donnie Brasco, who they're really pissed at, is nowhere to be found, and yet he's a consultant on the movie, and a major. It's his book. It's everything. He's everything about
But they were letting us know you're playing us. Guys,
this is
so be real about it. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Welcome, Josh Foster, with the Cherokee Parks reference. You see me work that into that, and Mark Allery wants you, huh? And Danny Ferry, welcome, Josh.
But after that day, Johnny didn't want to have anything to do with me because he thought I had befriended them in the rat trick thing.
Oh, weird.
But
good point, Josh. Yeah, the insurance company must have loved that. That's what we say about with Depp and all the stuff that came out in that trial where, the substances and all the risk, he's going to have an impossible time getting insured, knowing that he could just drop dead at any moment with that. And it's not worth the risk of what he might pull in. It's just not. I would think. And ironically, the movie wouldn't get made with it.
But anyway, we're at the Viper Room. And these two guys, there's one guy, he starts nudging me at the bar, right?
Oh, so we're going to ballpark this at like 2002.
That sounds good.
Yeah, that's it can't be earlier than 97, and it can't be later than 04. So I'm going to say 02.
So you're, in this movie with Johnny and that kind of thing. It's probably happened to you before. Mm-hmm. And you're like, no, man, hey, I don't know you. And
if you ever see the Viper Room, Davyd, you were in the Viper Room bathroom. Right? Yeah. It's this little shithole, right? It's this little.
Yeah, it's a hole in the wall kind of setup. Yeah, it's kind of gross.
Can you have multiple people in there at once?
I'm kind of forgetting. I remember the bar and the stage itself. I don't really remember the bathroom though.
According to Madsen, you can.
Fair enough.
Kind of thing. It's probably happened to you before. Mm-hmm. And you're like, no, man, hey, I don't know you. And yeah, I'm in the picture, so what? But it became an aggressive thing. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, man, I don't want to get in a fight in here. And so I went in the bathroom.
So just to recap, he's in the bathroom. Two goons, follow him into the Viper Room bathroom. Depp is there. Pacino's there. He doesn't remember the band that's playing. Let's say it's Tom Petty. It's always my go-to. Say the Counting Crows. And he's like, what? And they're getting aggressive with him. He's like, what the fuck is going on?
And someone comes in the bathroom and the lights went out in the bathroom. And I'm like, holy man. But I was in the stall, not at the urinal.
Right.
I'm in a stall.
Yeah.
And bam, the stall door like hits me.
Right.
You know, and I turn around and it's total darkness. And somebody hit me right in the face.
Wow.
And I fell back against the toilet. And it ruptured the glass tank on the back of the toilet, porcelain tank. Yeah. And all the water came rushing out. And I got up and I came through the door and this other guy was there. And it was the one that was being a jerk at the bar. And I got a really good punch right in his mug. And he fell back against the paper towel thing. And he hit it so hard that it came off the wall. All right. And just then, Al comes in the bathroom. Oh, yeah.
Let me introduce you to my little friend.
No, he comes in.
Oh, God. You should have punched Steven. You want him to punch Stephen Baldwin right there. God damn it.
He said it wrong, too. He even said it wrong.
I know. He's
He's like, oh. And this poor guy bounced off the wall, and all the water's rushing through from the broken toilet. And I'm standing there, and Al's looking at me, and the two of them run out, and I'm standing looking at Al. He goes, oh. And I go, yeah, man, what the f-? And I walk out of the bathroom, and I go back over to the bar. It's really crowded. And I'm looking for these and they were nowhere around. And all of a sudden, this big bouncer comes over. He's a big guy, man. And he says, you got to go. And I said, okay, man. And so I slowly, went out. But I was trying to explain, these guys came in the bathroom and they me up. And what was that all about, The guy who asked me to leave, he said, Johnny wants me to tell you that he thought you loved him. And I'll never forget that. And I said, well, I don't know, what does that mean? What did that mean? I don't know what that meant, right?
Coming from Johnny.
And right? And the next day, I got his agency calling my agent, saying Michael Madsen made a big problem in the Viper Room last night. He broke the toilet.
Listen, I don't think Mike Madsen's going to miss the Viper Room very much.
No, I never went back there. I never went back. And
no skin off Mike Madsen's ass, I assure you.
It doesn't end there. So I went and I listened to his. That's what he puts on YouTube. So there's an audio that finishes. It's not the full. For some reason, Stephen Baldwin feels the need to post video clips, but not the whole interview. He makes you go to not Spotify, iHeartRadio to get. God. So I go looking for it, and I found like there's a little more to it, and so I went and I screen recorded it, and this is how it finishes.
Off Mike Madsen's ass, I assure you.
I just I tried to explain the fact that I didn't break the toilet, and I wouldn't have done that.
Well, you know what's weirder? Here's a guy who's a fellow actor. He owns a club. He could have just called you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
just say, hey, man, first of all, second of all, heard your side of the story.
Yeah, no, here I am putting him down for his performance in Donnie Brasco. But he's been great in other stuff. God bless him, but he didn't in Donnie.
He's been cute in other stuff.
Could have been.
He's been cute. Johnny's cute.
He's lucky Al was underplaying Lefty. That's all I can say.
Wow.
Jeez.
He keeps circling back to it, and he disparages, which is a performance that's supposed to be what that is. But he's trying, and he's hard. So what he's saying is, Donnie Brasco ordered a hit on Sonny Black in his own Viper Room, because that's what that is. Mm-hmm. He had his own goons jump him in the bathroom. Now, from what I understand how the Viper Room works is he used to have video cameras, and they could look at it from his office as to where. So I guess he knew he was there, and he ordered these goons to jump him in the bathroom.
He wanted some get back.
Yeah. And so since then, now he's taking shots at his acting, and he's doing this kind of like. But it is a crazy story. That's a major accusation.
Yeah. Also very, we all value the opinion of Stephen Baldwin saying Johnny Depp was cute in other movies.
I know. Like guys like him who don't work anymore, they just have like out of a holster critiques of actor that are far beyond anything they could ever. Like he's still, Usual Suspects. He clings to that ensemble movie that he's the reason it's got. He just, and it's his decision is why he doesn't work anymore.
Right.
And if you asked Alec, he likes Depp better than his own brother. I guarantee it. Well, you know how bad you have to be that your own brother prefers another actor who's not related to him over you in the same. And
another actor that you've never worked with, right?
You never worked. That is a crazy story. Depp has not addressed it. I'd love to hear maybe if you got Madsen, like he would tell, like the actual phone conversation that Tracy Jacobs had with Michael Madsen and his agent.
Yeah, right.
That would be amazing to hear that. Like a half hour of her screaming at them. And now that's a side of Depp you don't hear. I mean, it's like the other I had that that we played the Charlize Theron. Yeah, and then the actress from The Sopranos and Blow, which that was a good. That he screamed at her for taking his focus, which is a similar story to what Madsen said about the screening, the Donnie Brasco screening, when Depp was pissed that Madsen had too much screen time, which is a bizarre thing to hear from Depp.
Yeah, that is strange, yeah.
But Jesus, Chubby, I want to wish you Godspeed. I know you don't need our help or luck, but you are doing the Lord's work, and I don't say that loosely. Going to Southern California to help with the efforts.
5 loads, man. I'm ready for it.
Speaking of 5 loads, Davyd, are you gonna be in Toronto?
I'm gonna be, yes.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I'm going to Toronto
at the same time.
And that
would have been a perfect, of course. So you're leaving next week. Happy birthday, Davyd.
Happy birthday, brother.
Thank you.
Jesus
Thank
Christ. 136 years. Here's to 136 more.
Yeah,
I want to thank everybody that donated in the chat. Stephen is the Shemp of the Baldwins. That's great, Tata Toothy.
Hey, Arm.
Daniel. Yeah.
Hey, just one more thing. Let Barn know if I can get my insurance rates right. I got an email. They have you ever heard of Ice Road Truckers?
Yeah, sure. That's
okay.
I love. You know how much I love Ice, right? You think I'm not going to watch
a
show about Ice with Ice?
Well, they have Outback Truckers for Australia.
Oh wow!
And I had an email to if I wanted to be on the show, but I got to raise my insurance rates to go over there. So I'm thinking about doing it. So I might be out that way.
So cool! Oh my god!
Why don't they pay for it? They want
No. I have to because they're gonna ship my truck over there. I'm not gonna use their truck.
Damn it!
So I got to use mine on a boat.
Wow,
that's
that's some Aquaman shit.
Big bucks too, man. So I'm really thinking about doing it.
You know what? You only live once, Chubby. You're a great looking guy. Not good looking, great looking guy.
Hey, not bad for 50, huh?
Yeah, not bad at all. Black
just a little gray. Hey, what they say? Black don't crack unless you smoke it.
That's great. I never heard
that show. You know that show needs some black on it. You know that they're not gonna. If you don't do it, there will be no black people on the show. I guarantee it.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you for having me, man.
You only live once. That opportunity may never come around again. I say do it.
Agreed.
Then we can promote the hell out of it on here and give it.
Listen, hey, Arm, $2 million for the truck, 1.5 for the trailer. That's a lot. That's heavy rates, man.
Yep.
That's it. I'm really thinking about it because I've never been that way.
Yeah,
I've been to Canada and Mexico, and I drove on the ice road in Alaska. So I would really like that opportunity.
Yeah, they don't have trucks. That's going to be the first truck that's ever in Australia, Tata Toothy. You're right.
Yeah.
Sarah says we're all moving to Greenland.
Greenland, let's go.
That's awesome. Truth Bombs, or wherever Madsen is, says G Canada. A bunch of Depp movies. Steve, that's such a good line. Steven is the Shemp of the Baldwins.
That's so funny.
Mara Francois goes, do it. Look at Tamfran. She's calling the shots here. We gotta have her back on the show too soon for a Lotus.
Yeah,
for a Lotus. I think she'd prefer Lotus. I don't know. We're doing one soon. I don't know if it's going to be the beginning of next week or in a few days, and I'm not sure what the premise is going to be. What's your avails, Davyd? Are you around? When do you go to Toronto? What's the first
So
day?
I'm gone basically the 19th through the 28th, so probably won't be free till last 3 days of January or February.
We can get a Lotus. Would you be available before that, like on the 17th or something, 16th?
Yeah, let me check. I might be able to do the Friday, but yeah, I'll let you know.
Oh man, I want to thank everybody again. Thank you, Chubby, for popping in. Thank you, Davyd, again for the great hang. Happy birthday,
Anytime, bro.
Thank you. Everyone is glad you're safe.
Arm, you got a backup center, man. Anytime you need it, okay?
I got our own Antoine car.
There you go, brother.
In Atlanta, in hot Atlanta. Everyone, thank you. I love you all. I will see you very soon on the Lotus Notes. Chubby, you were great. I agree.
Yeah. I appreciate y'all. Thank you, man. The chat is awesome, man. Chat is awesome.
Background. Yes. Thank you, everyone. I love you all. This is Arm for Davyd and Chubby Pickle.
Moo! 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 I'm a loser! Eh?
Sit down. Stay where you are. For the first time, I choose to walk out on you.
Or 21 Jump.